Hello and welcome to Stretford, Paddock. This is the watch-along. Manchester United versus Newcastle United. It's the last game of 2024, Scotty. How are you feeling?
I'll be glad when the year's over, to be honest, Joe.
It's been a good one, hasn't it, on the pitch?
Yeah, really?
It's been absolutely diabolical, hasn't it?
We won the FA Cup.
We did win the FA Cup. That was a pretty good way to that was a decent halfway point of the season. How are you doing, Ronnie?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Are you good?
Like no one ever asks you how you're doing back.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah.
And we've got a very special extra guest to the watch along today. With it being a Newcastle game, we've got Ethan in the producer's corner as well. Ethan, how are you?
Oh, hello, Joe. I thought I'd be quite humble.
Why are you dressed
today.
like John Motson?
I was gonna say I've never seen you wear that before. So I don't know.
Well, you see, this was for my big reveal.
Hey!
Oh, there you go. Oh, no.
Actually, so you're here to hopefully you can be a figure of fun, but most likely you're going to be celebrating a win, aren't you?
Yes, two black and white army, Joe. Let's hope it's a good day for the Geordies.
You
that's
read
not,
that.
actually.
You literally read that.
He did. It felt like he was reading that, didn't he?
You're posting all
This
that.
whole Geordie act, not real. Ridiculous.
He's got a script of him, no way.
Absolutely ridiculous. Scotty, well, actually, you know what? Let's just get into the team. Get into the team. Bottom left, it does say 5:30 kickoff, Ethan, if that can be tweaked. I know you've got your big John Motson coat on, but if you could change the scoreline, that'd be good.
Absolutely.
The kickoff time. Let's go through the United's team then. No Bruno, no Ugarte, we know that, but there is a familiar face right below my finger, but we'll get to that afterwards. Starting, we've got Onana, Delict, Maguire, Martinez, Dallo and Mazraoui as our wing-backs. One of the all-time paciest midfields. Casemiro and Eriksen in the middle. With Xerxes and Ahmad in behind Højlund. That's the way we've done it. We're not necessarily sure, but I can't imagine Højlund playing in the number 10. Ronaldo, I'll start with you. Just on the 11 before we get to, obviously, Rashford and is worth chatting about. Yeah, what do you make of that 11?
We have gone straight Masters football in the middle there, isn't it? But
that is
to be fair, we haven't got that many options. We've got Mainoo on the bench. Mainoo's athletically not the greatest in kind of ground coverage anyway, but I still think that would have been a better option. But he's played quite a lot recently, and it's not too long ago that he was injured. So outside of that, I think with this formation, what I've seen so far is whenever we've played two full-backs in the wing-back positions, we look a little bit lacklustre going forward.
I heard a rumour. I say a rumour. It was a tweet, and I don't know if it's true or not, that United haven't scored a goal when we've had two full-backs as our wing-backs. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I'm making that up. That cannot be true. But that we very, very much struggle to score and create chances when we've got Dallo and Mazraoui as those two wing backs or Malacia.
The issue is we're playing a right-footed full-back, left wing back. That's a problem in itself. I know on the other side he's likes to play Ahmad in that role. Obviously he played Quenda in that role for Sporting Lisbon, and I guess he's got a reasoning for that. But it's also the fact we've got full-backs that aren't really the best in the final third. Yeah. That's not the area of the pitch where they excel. So as wing backs, sometimes they find themselves. How many times have we seen Dalot isolated in the final third, and he looks a little bit like he's not sure what to do. His final ball isn't the best, and he doesn't look quite as comfortable. When it comes to Maz, he's really good on the ball, but I think his abilities are usually best suited to like the build-up play and like keeping the ball and ball retention and being all intricate. But he's not exactly someone that blasts down the side or gets around people and whips balls, and he's not that type of player either. So I don't know. It's about where the goals are going to come from, because you have Xerxes playing alongside Højlund in the 10, but then you're talking about two forwards that aren't exactly prolific either. So I look at that team and I worry about our physicality against theirs, because that's what Newcastle are one of the most physical teams in the league, and that's a major concern today. But then I'm looking at it thinking where the goal's going to come from.
Talking about the goals, do you like the idea, Scotty, of Xerxes and Højlund playing together? Do you think this is just a necessity thing, or do you think it's something you've wanted to see before this?
It feels very much like a necessity thing at the moment, especially with the suspensions that we've got. I think because he's had, this will be his 10th game now, Amorim, at United?
Yes,
I think it is.
I believe so.
I'd hope by now, when he has got a full fit squad, he'll know what his starting 11 is. But yeah, I think it's very much needs must, and echo a lot of the sentiments there made by Ronaldo in terms of chance creation and scoring goals. But even before kick-off now, and the way my head's sort of catastrophising this game, I would take a draw before kick-off. So I'm more concerned about conceding goals than I am actually scoring them. And Ronaldo there alluded to Masters FC in the centre of the park, Casemiro and Eriksen. that's massively worrying. That when you look at the midfield that the Newcastle have got with the likes of Tonali and Joe Linton.
Yeah, let's have a look at their midfield, because it's a physical one at the best of times. I'll go through the whole team. We've got Dubravka. I thought Ethan was going to cheer these. Dubravka, Trippier. Don't then. Trippier, Shah, Joe Linton. This is in number order, which no one likes. Tonali, Gordon, Isaac, Hall, Murphy, Byrne, and Bruno Guimaraes. But obviously, that midfield there of Bruno, Tonali, and Joe Linton, Ethan.
Oh, yes.
What do you make of that midfield? You're telling me how good Tonali's been recently.
Well, absolutely, Joe. I must say, I think a lot of Newcastle fans were the same. I was quietly a little bit worried about Tonali, because obviously he got that suspension for the betting, and then he came back in and he looked all right. He was getting like 60-minute appearances, but then he was playing full 90s for Italy, but he wasn't quite making his place assured in the Newcastle team. But recently they've adjusted it a little bit. You've got Bruno Guimaraes who goes a little bit further forward now, which means Tonali can go back, and they kind of switch up the role, and it's just made this really fluid, quick midfield that can burst up and down the pitch. And the physicality of it as well. I mean, Bruno's so good in the half turn. He's so good in the tackle. Joe Linton's a monster. He's so physical. It's honestly a brilliant midfield three to watch at the minute. And the last 3 games, 3-0, 4-0, 4-0, we've been running away with it.
Did you read that as well?
No, he actually thought of that. And to be honest, it does worry me that is a good. Yeah. It's a quality midfield that in it. I know Joe Linton.
That was a concerning roundup.
Yeah.
Started funny with the Tonali gambling thing, but then obviously
after that,
I didn't want to say anything, because I think whenever we say anything about opposition players that isn't positive, they always end up scoring.
Yeah.
I mean, watch along. That's
you're a fan of, I did that a lot.
You specialise in that.
It was who was the one I did it with recently?
It was Diaz.
Yeah, Diaz.
And he scored a brace. I don't think he scored a brace since. No, he scored.
He scored the other day, but that's the first time in a while. What do you make of their midfield, Ronnie? You've been a fan of Bruno Guimaraes for a while, haven't you?
Yeah, I think he's comfortably one of the best midfielders in Europe. Not even just in the Premier League, to be honest. He definitely is. I think he would slot into the best teams in Europe and be an asset for them as well. But then it's just the whole makeup of their team is just all about this. People joke about it, PMP, pace and power, which is absolutely vital to the Premier League football nowadays. I feel like it's almost veered more towards that than even technical ability. I know you need a combination of both, but you literally can't survive in this league if you don't have that, and that's a major problem in the profiling of pretty much the majority of our team. So, because even you look at their bench, you have the likes of Joe Willock, and then you've got obviously even Lewis Miley, who's a young kid. He's about how tall is he? He's about 6'2", 6'3". He's
a tall lad.
He's a bit of a unit. Even like a Longstaff, who I thought was just a bit of a McTominay write off. But it's a tough ask today, and I think the midfield battle is where I'm really concerned. Obviously, Kieran Trippier, I don't think he's been starting too much for Newcastle this season from what I've seen.
He hasn't.
But it's usually been Livramento, who I think is a quality young player. But my concern now is, I didn't know whether, I tweeted about it before, whether Eddie Howe put Trippier in because he knows about our struggles in set pieces.
Maybe.
So he's probably thought
someone getting the ball in the box.
Yes, because Trippier's not as good defensively as Livramento.
No. I must say Livramento did miss the last game. So that might be, he might not be fully fit yet, so that might be reason. But yeah, I'd agree with the set piece point as well, definitely.
Yeah.
You mentioned the pace and power thing. Looking at their back four, Scotty, you've got Trippier, Shah, Byrne and Hall. I know Hall's got a bit of pace to him.
Shah can move a bit.
Shah can move a little bit, but it's not, Byrne and Trippier in particular, not the quickest. Do you think that's somewhere that Højlund and maybe Ahmad can have a bit of joy? I know Trippier last season seemed to go down a bit of a hill, didn't he, form-wise?
It's where the balls are coming into the likes of Ahmad and Højlund. They're going to be running onto these balls and stuff, because the lack of creativity making the chances for these players has been the problem, hasn't it, up until this point. But you're looking at pace, and they got Xerxes alongside him, so I don't think anybody's going to be worried about Xerxes running onto them. But Trippier isn't great defensively, but we've got Delo going down that wing as well, who isn't great offensively, so that's going to sort of nullify each other out.
That does help Trippier, doesn't it? That
A
you
lot,
got Dallo there who's not going to
'Cause-
really skin him and put,
Because if
push
you-
the balls in.
Because I know if you have like a Garnacho or a Rashford on that side, maybe they've got a bit of the pace and the movement to trouble him.
Yep.
But we can't talk as if Trippier can't defend at all. It's just not
Yeah.
like his specialty, and I think Livermental's better at that. And I think that's the thing. If you do bring on a Garnacho or you bring on someone like a Rashford, maybe who we'll talk about in a bit,
Yeah.
left wing, they can easily bring Livermental on, and that kind of nullifies that because, as I said, and as you can go around talking about a majority of Newcastle's team, Livermental's as quick as it gets, as quick and as powerful as it gets as for fullbacks in the league.
Didn't he have a good game against us last year, Liverpool?
Yeah, he's a top player, and he's still quite young as well.
Yeah.
It's just that for me, the issues that we've had with and the type of teams that we've had issues with, I think Newcastle pretty much encompass all of it.
Yeah.
So that's why if we don't actually turn up today properly, it could be quite bad.
Yep.
Can I say, how much did you actually spend in the summer, Ethan?
We didn't really spend anything. I'm trying to think of. I don't think we signed anyone apart from the striker William Asula for 10 million, and Lloyd Kelly was a free.
Because you spent all summer trying to get Mark Gay, didn't you? And failing to.
Yeah, and failing to.
Yeah. So I think that a lot of time and effort got wasted on that.
Yeah.
And then you end up sort of not getting anyone.
Well, there was the big panic, if you remember. Bid 50 million on deadline day for Anthony Elanga, and then that didn't come through. And now all the talk at the minute from Eddie Howe in his press conference is we've got no money to spend in January unless we sell it. And you think, well, where did that 50 million bid come from for Elanga?
Yeah, we pulled that. We got rid of that.
Yeah.
That went to what's her name who left?
Amanda Staveley.
Yeah, she took that. That was in a suitcase, the Staveley suitcase. Let's talk about Rashford then, because it's a big story, innit? Like, it feels like that's all people have been talking about for the last couple of weeks. Rashford back in the squad. We've got a quote on this as well, talking about why he's back. Ruben Amorim said, selection, and we have a lot of players outside, so he's in, basically. I've run out.
We needed to make up numbers.
I ran out of players.
I run out of players. He said, like I said, every week I choose my players. He was there to be chosen, and this time he's here. Bloody hell. That's very...
It's the kid in the playground,
isn't
isn't
it?
it?
But here he is, isn't it? That's like bloody Greg Wallace talking about his son. That's ridiculous. Sorry for anyone who knows that reference. Rashford's back in, Ronaldo. Listening to that, are you going, right, he's got a chance, or he wouldn't be here if anyone was fit?
I don't know for sure, but it does seem like it's because of fitness issues. Obviously, you've got no Bruno, no Ugarte. And if you look at the bench is pretty full. I think Collier and obviously Kakonki might be the two players that would have come out of there. But with the Rashford situation, I have to see it to believe it, really.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, he was in the greatest form since Amorim's took over and for quite a while now. But then you got to think, how match sharp is he going to be when he does play? That's another thing that you got to worry about.
He's not going to have to play too much, is he? Because he's, unless there's injuries, I wouldn't have thought he'd get any more than 10, 15 minutes. Because I think
he hasn't started Garnacho pretty much at all.
No.
He doesn't seem to be massively in favour when it comes to Amorim.
No.
Garnacho's not getting any starts at all. Obviously, Ahmad's playing a lot. Ireland, he's went for Xerxes instead. So it looks like Amorim must be seeing what we've been seeing in terms of maybe not suiting the system, not putting the yards in training, or just not playing well enough when he's getting the cameos. And also, I know there's been some outside issues that were kind of lingering around Garnacho and his entourage. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but it's still quite a young bench. Collier comes back into the fray. He's someone that does have a little bit of legs, but by all accounts, I've heard Muppeteers saying that United don't really see a massive future for him at the club. I think it's just a matter of time. But I don't know. I'm just hoping to put on a positive note, because we've been a little bit doom and gloom.
Yeah, let's talk some positives.
I think United are always capable of pulling out a random performance against someone that we didn't think we would.
Yeah.
So it might not be one-way traffic. It might not be. We might not get battered. We could get a draw, maybe even nick a win. That it's not outside the realms of possibility. But it's just we need to perform well, and we need to win our individual battles, and that's usually a cliche that most coaches say. And it's just the issue is when you stack our 11 in certain positions against theirs, you don't see where that happens.
No. Just looking at United's team and how we've been generally recently, Scotty, do you see any signs of, not necessarily improvement in results or whatever, but just changes at least? Do you see what what the difference between Ten Hag's United and Amorim's United, because the results have got worse across. It's not like it's now there's an adult in charge. It's basically the same as it was under Ten Hag. But do you see a different version of these results, if you know what I mean? Is there any reason to be positive or optimistic?
I think so as well, because the players that were underperforming under Ten Hag were playing football in a formation and strategy that they've been well drilled into, or you thought, over 2 years, and yet towards the end of Ten Hag's tenure there was very little identity still on the pitch. You didn't really know what a Ten Hag football team was putting out. Now what we're asking the players to do, and this is me trying to put a positive spin on it maybe, but we're asking players that were underperforming in a structure that they were well aware of what they were supposed to be doing, and now they're putting them into something else that's a bit alien, the concept to them, and they are bound to, Amorim, from his own admission, from the start was very pragmatic and said, listen, this isn't going to be an overnight fix, it is going to be a bit of a roller coaster with ups and downs. And I think when you look at the fullback situation, or the wingback, or whatever you want to call him, that's key to this actually happening this season, or we've got to wait until next season to see it bear any fruit, and United fans are going to have to grin and bear it. But he seems very adamant, and I like that, because I think the worst thing that Amorim could do now, regardless if we're getting beat, and regardless if we go down into a relegation battle, that man's got to stand by his principles and say, this is why you brought me in. You've got to believe in me as much as I've got to believe in that. I believe in this system. If the players aren't good enough for it, or they're not buying into it, then they need to do one, whether that's Marcus Rashford or anybody else. But to look at tonight, and like Ronaldo said there, United should be getting a result anyway at Old Trafford against Newcastle. Regardless of form, you expect them to go out. And especially when you look at we've lost 5 on the bounce, we've lost 5 in December. Any player, any person, any footballer of any pride should go, I'm sick of this. I don't mind United getting beat if I've seen any sort of determination or want to win the game within the players. That's been missing a lot, and whether that's down to them not buying into Amorim or for whatever reason, I think we've been losing games down to the sort of simple mistakes, whether that's set pieces. That needs eradicating. Sloppy passes. Do you know what I mean? It's like what Ronaldo said, he's doing the simple things easier. We're literally, I've not seen us concede a goal where it's been a masterclass of football. It's not like prime Barcelona where the teams have been beating us. A lot of it has been our own undoing, and that's what's massively frustrating. Things can happen very quickly. If you look at how Forest have been on a relegation battle 2 years in a row, and it's overnight that now that they're in top 4, so it can change quickly. It might just eradicate them simple mistakes, and we can move from there.
What do you think, Ronnie, in terms of progression that we've seen? Not necessarily upward progression, but just changes. Like, are you seeing differences? Are you seeing a different structure, a different setup, a different reliance on different tactics and ideas?
I think you can see clear structures and clear patterns and clear styles. A bunch of buzzers that we used for saying that we couldn't see a lot of the time on Eric Ten Hag, but it's just the fact that it's currently not working, because the performances haven't been there. I think players in the right positions hasn't been there. And the issue is, it's hard to criticise Amorim for that, because the personnel and the transfer window we had wasn't tailored towards Amorim. It was tailored towards a manager that we got rid of within the first 10 to 15 games. And then you've brought a manager in that plays nowhere near the same system, that requires complete different profiles, and then he's asked to turn water into wine. And it's going to, I don't know how, it's almost like the rest of the season, because it's likely we won't do massive changes in January anyway. It feels like the massive season is just going to be about keeping us above water, and that's generally what it feels like. And maybe have a Europa League cup run where we can qualify for the Champions League that way. But it is difficult, because you look at it and it just feels like every time we have a starting 11, you're thinking, does that player really suit there? Does that player really fit there? Is that where you get the best out of him? And that's just come to the fact that we've not recruited the right people for the manager that we currently have, and that's what happens when you bring in someone after the transfer window's closed.
Isn't it a bit silly though that we've done that in a way? Like, you look at Amorim got questioned about this the other day about how come this new manager for Wolves is already able to get a tune out of this team when you're struggling and with a new system. And he said it's not. It's the same system. The last manager was the same system. The one before that was the same system. And top clubs recruit managers for the same system. Do you think Ineos are going to be sticking with, let's say between now and the end of the summer, we have this summer and Amorim starts poorly next season, gets sacked next Christmas, right? Terrible situation, no one wants that, but it happens. Do you think Man United go for a manager that plays 3 at the back? and then do the same again
I
after
think
that manager?
I personally think to go if that's the manager you wanted and that's the manager you've eyed up with a complete different system, I think it is risky bringing him in during the season when you look at the squad. But then again, it still just points to the fact the past few windows of recruitment haven't been good enough, because it just shows that the players haven't been almost like versatile enough to play these other positions. But it also just comes down to basic things of like actual quality, because we're talking about systems and we're talking about players not suiting certain positions in a formation. A lot of the wrong things that we're seeing just comes down to players not being quick enough, players not being powerful enough, players not having enough physicality, players being poor in their decision making. And this is all things that don't have anything to do with the formation and where they're playing. It's just almost like how they're executing their actions. It just seems to be wrong more often than not. And I can't believe how wrong we've got so many windows. And as I've kept saying, when you get a window wrong, it just feels like it sets you back almost a season or two, because with FFP now and PSR, you don't have a war chest to go into some window and just completely like buy 6 or 7 players. So it'll take time, and we're gonna have to be patient. I think there's gonna be a lot of hurt and pain along the way.
Hopefully not too much. Me Sugar Ho 7.
Me Sugar Home.
Me Sugar Ho. Says, why is there such an aversion to playing Eriksen as one of the 10s? I just don't get it. I think it's his ability to press, or lack of ability to press, which is why we don't play him there personally. That's my guess. Any other suggestions?
Yeah, well, to be honest, you can have the same argument with him, his ability to track back and defend.
Yeah. At least you've got 6 men round him in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, quite possibly.
It's one or the other, isn't it, really? Would you rather him defensive or offensive? I'd like to have seen more of Eriksen under Amorim. I don't think Fernandes has had a brilliant season, and when he was suspended, I thought it'll be interesting to see what will come off this midfield. I think Ugarte will be a huge miss tonight, but chance creation as well. I would definitely push Eriksen up front. I thought he was good against Spurs despite the result. I thought him and Bruno for a while played pretty decent.
Yeah, what do you reckon?
Probably it's still our best pass for the football, but it's just styles make fights, isn't it? And that midfield pivot with Pick doesn't seem to fit playing today. But what we'll see from the performance of him, I'm not sure, because we can't pretend that Casemiro and Eriksen aren't good players or weren't good players.
Yeah,
it's just about where they are now. And what does it say about Manchester United, and going back to our recruitment, that we are going into important games against basically rival sides, having to play a 31-year-old Casemiro and a 30-plus-year-old Eriksen as the midfield pivot.
It's not ideal, is it?
It's not ideal.
It's never ideal, though, is it? Nothing we ever do is ideal.
Yeah.
We're always like...
It's so boring if it was ideal.
Why this might work today when it hasn't worked in the past, or shoehorning someone in. Like it feels like we've been doing that for the last 10 years. Yeah. We've got a few more super chats as well. FBF1 Sports says, we're either winning 2-1 or a 3-0 loss. I tend to agree with that. By the way, no chance Rashford gets off the bench tonight. I don't think he will either, unless there's injuries.
It would have to be something sort of cataclysmic up front that would get Rashford on the pitch.
Mo Khan says, why not promote Harry Amas to the bench at least? Can't be any worse than what we've seen. Well, and this is no dig at Harry Amas. It can be worse than what we've seen. There are many footballers in the world who are worse than Dallo at left wing back or Malacia at left wing back. But the managers also have blind spots, so maybe he didn't fancy him. Ten Hag also didn't fancy him, did he? He played him in pre-season, they didn't play him.
I think they rated him, but they realised Harry Amas at his current stage of development isn't ready for the Premier League, and that could be him needing to develop and grow. I think it is defensively, and because I saw he looked like a quality player in the pre-season. He looked like he has a lot of good traits going forward. Defensively, I feel like he could be
at 70.
He could be a bit of a problem. And Premier League, man, how unforgiving is the Premier League for wingers, for wing backs, and for full backs in general?
Yeah.
So in a team like this that's not functioning well, that's like under the cosh a lot of the times in games, I think putting a 17-year-old wing back, full back in a game like in these games, he could be left hung out to dry. And also because you've been talking about today, who would he play against? He'd be playing against Jacob Murphy, someone that I've previously taken the piss out of, and I'm going to ask Ethan about him. What's got into Jacob Murphy? Why is he scoring every week now?
I think people are finally beginning to realise.
Stop
Roddy.
this.
Yeah.
Stop. Whatever that face was, I knew some bullshit was about to fall out of it. I think people are starting to realise that Jacob 1 goal in 7 games Murphy has always been a world-class player. Is that what you were about to say there?
Well, you've kind of stole my thunder.
Yeah, I have a little bit, haven't I?
Well, you know what? The thing is with Jacob Murphy, he can get criticised for being a bit wasteful. But at the minute, he's getting chances. And my God, he wellies a ball. He really hits a football hard. If you look at his goals in the last few games, he's had a few riflers go in.
Proper 1940s analysis, this, isn't it?
Well,
My God, can he kick it hard?
He can.
Where it ends up, nobody knows. By the way, my guess of 1 goal in 7 is so close. He's got 53 goals in 374 career appearances.
But the thing, I've never... He's in one of those purple patches. He's having that similar... He's not quite as good as Brennan Johnson as a footballer, but... They're both similar in terms of they just seem to be the occasional kind of like GA churners, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where they always seem to be in a back post in the right position to score. But when you actually watch them over the course of the game, they can look a little bit
You have attackers who do this. Do you remember Almiron had that little spell the season before last where he got like 8 goals in 9 games at one point over Christmas, I think it was. I feel like because Newcastle are a team that more often than not, I know last year wasn't great, but you're kind of doing better than you have been, aren't you? You're on a general upward trajectory as a football club. Like you'll have these players who will just have mad spells where they look brilliant because like they're just getting involved in how good you are. Do you think is Jacob Murphy kind of profiting from that a little bit, the general goodwill?
Well, it's a team of good lads, Joe. They've got excellent attitude. They do. They've got great attitude, and they just feed off that brilliant energy that they're giving each other. And at the minute, Jacob Murphy's just part of that. When the team plays well, players like that who bring a lot of good attitude and positivity to the team get caught up in that as well. So it's brilliant to see. The goals are flowing at the minute, and he's a big part of that. Let's not forget Anthony Gordon on the other side. Even though he's not probably been as prolific in recent weeks as Jacob Murphy, he scored an absolute cracker against Aston Villa as well. It's just a lot of pace and energy in that team, Joe, which is just so beautiful to watch.
I wish you'd never given him a camera.
I've never wanted to win a game more now.
I know,
this is like...
I don't even know, like someone putting whipped cream straight into your mouth. It's so sickly watching him. Smug little Ethan in the corner because Newcastle are doing all right. God, this isn't how it's meant to be. We should be at the top, and you should be. Where are you? 7.
I looked right. I see you like.
To be fair, though, if they win tonight, they go 5th. They go ahead of Man City, ahead of Bournemouth into 5th. So I can't really argue with it too much.
It's basically the Championship these days, though, isn't it? The Prem. Everything's
you win 3 games
tight.
and you're in the top 4. That's just how it works.
It's so competitive.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. Another player that we do actually have to mention because he's probably the most informed number 9 in the Premier League is Isaac. Again, what do you make of him, Scotty? What do you think of him? Isak.
He's a brilliant player, and I was winding Ethan up in the summer. I said United are going to come for him because he's definitely a sort of striker that United could do with at Old Trafford. Great running with the ball, excellent finisher, and I just wish. But again, when you look at Newcastle, he's got Tonali and the likes behind him that are creating the chances for him. Yeah. If he hasn't got the midfield that's setting the ball up, I don't think he'd be as prolific as he actually is. You know, and he was going about being a great bunch of lads and players and stuff. They can play bloody good football as well, Ethan, can't they? Bloody good football, Scotty. No, he's at the nail on that.
Right, Mike, mute your own mic now. We'll be back to you in a minute.
The thing is, what Scotty said before, he said about like Isaac, and he was winding me up that he could be going to Old Trafford. But I think what you need to remember, Scotty, is the likes of like when he had like Dan Ashworth and you picked him up, Ratcliffe just turns them to shite. So Isaac at this Manchester United team, I completely agree with the service from the dross you have. It just wouldn't work.
Is he not going to the Emirates, though?
No, he's staying 150 mil. No one can pay that these days.
But I thought you broke.
Nah,
you are broke.
You did say you got to sell to buy, to be fair.
We're not selling.
If you're selling, then what's the point in buying anyone? He is good, isn't he? He is a top striker.
Player.
Yeah.
They definitely got players to worry about. Isak and Gordon, they could trouble us today. Yeah. Obviously, you got Mazraoui on the side against Gordon, so you do believe in him defensively. But then you've got Isak in the middle. You got to hope that Maguire gets the best of him.
It's a little bit annoying, actually. Would you swap Højlund for Isak?
Tomorrow.
Not today. We can have him for the game.
Oh, if I can have him today, I'd have him today.
Yeah, no.
Even if I've got to drive.
It's annoying though, isn't it? I know, obviously, not that. I don't know. Is it just United's fault for not going after players with much of a track record? Like we seem like in terms of strikers, we either go for people who have never really done it, but we hope they might, or people who really did it 6 years ago. Like that's the only two types of striker we've signed since Lukaku, basically.
Yeah.
It's either people who have passed it, but you might get another season, or we hope he'll be good enough in 3 years.
It's not just strikers though, is it? I mean, you can go across the board. We've got Varane. Casemiro's another example. We go for classic cars rather than the latest model.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, and the problem is what we tend to do as well with the likes of Højlund. He should have been a substitute striker, like a Chico, coming off the bench and learning his trade.
Yeah.
But now we're sort of relying on him, and that's the same with the likes of Ahmad. It's just so disjointed in terms of the transfer window. When I was asking before what Newcastle had spent in the summer, and I think Ethan said next to nothing. Compare that to Manchester United, and how far off we still look from a cohesive team that looks, what each of the players doing.
Yeah. Got Isak with 60 million as well.
Yeah.
From where? Where was he from?
Real Sociedad.
I was just looking at his numbers now because he's one of those players.
Well, that's one of them where I know what you're going to say, and people have been talking about where recruitment goes beyond just looking at numbers in GA, especially with young players. It's their skill set and stuff.
Of course.
And what you think that you can project their numbers to be in the right system for the right team. Because a lot of people, Isak was always looked as a bit of a quality young player.
Yeah.
In his Real Sociedad days, even before that, he was at Dortmund before that, I believe.
Yeah.
He was always like a bit of but he just wasn't exactly prolific with his output, and he did play a lot on the left wing instead of up front. Newcastle obviously took a chance, but there were other teams interested in him. But a lot of fans would say, "Oh, look at his goals scoring record for Real Sociedad because it wasn't good and it wasn't great."
But the thing with him is that I will say about in his defence, like you said, obviously just goals scored isn't the only thing, especially when you're looking to project talent. They signed him as a 23-year-old, I think, so there's a long way before he becomes an elite player. But what he did do is, in the 4 full seasons before he joined Newcastle, he got 14 goals, 16 goals, 17 goals, 10 goals. So it wasn't peaks and troughs. It was, I mean, that last season wasn't great, but it was mostly 10 plus goals every single season, and he's still a young guy, and he's got all these traits that will work in the Premier League. Like, it feels like with United, and again, this isn't meant to be a diss on Rasmus Højlund, but he'd only got double digits once. And that's partly because he's younger, but partly because he's not necessarily the same kind of player as Isak is, should I say. But I do feel like the players we buy, you're kind of getting, like I said, one or the other. You either get them we have to get them really young so they're a bit cheaper, or really old so they're a bit cheaper. That 24, 25-year-old kind of player tends to elude us a little bit, and maybe that's just because
it was a steep fee for Isak, even though he had a lot of talent because of his numbers. People look kind of thinking 60 mil might have been a bit too much, but obviously it seems to be worth it now. Obviously we paid 70 million for Højlund, which is looking a bit iffy. Obviously he's still got time, he's still very young, but
plenty of time.
And we'll see how that goes. But I always wonder when you mention Isak, there's a lot, when you think about international football, there's always these really random nations that will just have like 2 world-class players in the same position, and you think, it's like when I think in Sweden, they probably play with one up front, and then it's like, do you play Isak or do you play Gyökeres?
Who does play for them? Do we know? Who does start most games for them? I don't even know.
Because Serbia have the same thing. Serbia had the same thing with Mitrovic and Vlahovic, and because it's what you got to play them both. But I think it was Mitrovic that'll get played and Vlahovic will be benched.
And is it Slovakia as well with goalkeepers? Was it Slovakia?
Did they have
Slovenia? I think
Slovenia have Oblak, don't they?
Yeah, but don't they also have?
They have Sesko up front.
Is it Handanovic? Is he not Slovenian as well? Yeah, Slovenia. They had Handanovic and Oblak both playing for like two very, very good goalkeepers from a nation that doesn't have many world-class players. Yeah, playing both. Back to United then. Obviously, not scoring many goals, not in open play at least, conceding too many chances. Is that a crumb of positivity, Scotty? I know the set pieces thing. I want to talk about set pieces, but we're not. Last season it was 20 plus shots per game conceded every single week. This season, a lot of games we've lost in the last few weeks we've actually created more chances than our opposition.
Yep.
Just it's these silly goals and mistakes that are costing us. Is that somehow a positive?
I mean, if there was a league table for chances created and chances against, we'd be a lot higher up the table, wouldn't we? But unfortunately, football's not like that. And as I said earlier on, a lot of it has been down to our undoing due to silly mistakes or bad goalkeeping errors or the set pieces. We're 14th in the league, and yet it sounds ludicrous for me to say that we do look more comfortable at the back.
Yeah,
we do.
I agree.
It's bizarre.
I agree.
And another reason for us not winning games is the lack of chances we're creating and scoring up front. But again, that comes down to the wing-back positions. There are crumbs of positivity.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a long road until we can make a cake.
Oh, I'd love that. I'd love a bloody cake of positivity. Take a big healthy slice of that. Some custard of joy all
What would
over
it be
the top
made
of
of?
it. Good question.
It's got to go generic, man. Actually, no.
Victoria Sponge?
Red velvet.
Red velvet.
Yeah.
But isn't it, what flavour is that? Is it chocolate? But just with red food colouring?
I don't know. I don't bake.
You do eat though.
Could
Drew,
someone let us know?
Reports that it might be beetroot.
It's not beetroot flavour, is it?
Beetroot.
Maybe that's what they use to colour it, but it's not beetroot flavour,
That's
is
what
it?
I'm hearing, Drew.
Right.
Beetroot's pretty
Where are you here? Sorry, Delia Smith on the line.
Going live to Nigeria.
Yeah, where are you? What's that finger doing? Cody Hayes says, Rashford, goodbye hat-trick today. Fingers crossed, United 3-2 win. Blimey. Ian Warren, a team to defend set pieces and retain good control. Needs Xerxes to drop in to connect the play. Eriksen and Casemiro need very good passing games if we are to play well enough to win. I completely agree with that, by the way. We need some big players having good games today. Because too often we've had not just like, Eriksen's a bit slow, Casemiro's a bit slow, or Bruno's a bit erratic. You know, everyone's got weaknesses. But too often we are seeing our players' weaknesses like week in, week out. Dallo is a bit headless in the final third sometimes, but he's doing it every time at the minute. Doesn't it feel like we're only seeing the negatives of a lot of players at the moment?
Yeah, it's like if you were putting them in a shop window, you just be showing their flaws.
Yeah.
Here's Garnacho with his head not getting up, trying to cross the ball in, or like I said, Delo high-fiving for winning a throw-in.
It's annoying though, isn't it? I know that's just what happens when you don't have any confidence and everyone's down. Because like certain people, like Jacob Murphy's a good example. He's not good enough to Ethan's turning his... I've just seen Ethan at the corner of my eye turning his mic back on. But he's not good enough to be playing for a team that's like challenging for trophies season in, season out. I just don't think he is quality-wise. But he's sort of playing like at his best. And from that point, you can be good enough then to kind of play for a team that's challenging for things. We've got players like Rashford, the perfect example. At his best, could play for any team in the world. Anyone would take a 30 goal a season left winger off your hands. There aren't many of them in the world. And yet, at the minute, everyone we have there looks like the shittest version of themselves possible. It's amazing what confidence can do and momentum can do to a side. Because even look at like Martin as someone who was this like, we know what he does it every week, Mr. Reliable. Now he's, ups and downs. And even Mazraoui's had a couple of bad games in the last couple of weeks.
I think it was... it may not have been him first, but Sir Alex Ferguson said that hard work will trump ability every time.
Yeah.
And that's it. Man United can have all the ability they want in their players, and I'd probably say if you go 11 against 11, looking at their stats and what they've achieved in their career in terms of goals scored, United probably outweigh what Newcastle have got on the pitch. But that doesn't mean they're gonna outwork them, or they have the want and drive that Newcastle does as a team, as a cohesive unit. So I think that's a lot to do with it in terms of like, you can have all the ability, but if you've not got the determination to win the game, which we've lacked seriously, then we're not going to win the game.
You've been big on Ronaldo, on this sort of athleticism and almost like the kind of physical fundamentals of the team not quite being there. How big a problem has that become, do you think? Because it does feel as though we're kind of outrun and outmuscled by pretty much everyone we play against. Is that an effort thing? Is it a work rate thing? Or is it just purely this guy's faster and stronger?
I'm not going to lie to you.
Thing?
I don't think that's... what's the worst part about it? I don't think it is just an effort thing. I think it's just we've got players that aren't just not capable of matching the intensity or the power or the pace of the players for other teams. And then you think, okay, Manchester United, we can at least kind of equalise that a little bit with the quality of our players and the technical ability, and then we're lacking in that way as well. So if
How's that happen?
So if you've got both of those where you're struggling a bit, you're going to see what you've been seeing from United in the last 18 months for the majority, which is where we look quite embarrassing against pretty much anyone we play against. And as I keep saying, I think pretty much everyone's good in the Premier League now. So it's a bit of a concern. And you know, when back in the day when teams would come to Old Trafford and they'd almost like psychologically have lost before they stepped onto the pitch, I think now it's a bit of an opposite. They're getting that added edge of, we have a chance to get a scalp today, and they actually believe they can. I think the fear factor element has massively gone too, and that is an issue, because I think United nowadays need to be at their best to compete against most teams we play against. And I think teams have that big team thing of, they come and play against United and they almost add an extra 1 or 2%.
Yeah, well,
because they're playing us, and then
I've watched a lot of the recent Man City games over Christmas. Teams are playing against Man City in ways that they wouldn't have dared to do seasons before this. Like, it's not just City have dropped. Everyone else has gone, shit, City have dropped. We can go up a level. We can actually go for it. Like, teams look so much more sort of, brave against Man City now than they ever used to.
Smell blood.
It's like the same thing, like you said, with United. We mentioned that stat before the game about United scoring with wing-backs, with wingers as wing-back compared to full-backs as wing-backs. Just in that right wing-back slot, when it's been Dalot or Mazraoui playing right wing-back, United have scored 0 goals in 276 minutes, 3 games of football. With it being Ahmad or Anthony in that right wing-back slot, United have scored 9 goals in 354 minutes. So 70 more minutes. Let me correct myself again. 80 more minutes, but 9 goals to 0. That's a bit of a worry, isn't it?
It is, unless he's more concerned about packing out the defence and not conceding as much as he is scoring goals. Because I'd love to see what the statistics are, Joe, for when we're playing defensive wing backs and not conceding.
Yeah, whether that's defense. Yeah, whether we're defensive. And I haven't got those numbers because obviously we don't want those numbers. We want the ones that's the most shocking and exciting. That's the one that Sky Sports put up, because United being better defensively isn't exciting.
It's not sexy, is it?
No, it's not.
But I imagine it tells a very similar story if we're playing defensive wing backs. You'd expect it to, because they're masters in in the art of defending. But I'm not massively surprised. And I think Ahmad's better out on the right hand side. I wanted to see him in the number 10, but I actually prefer him running down, charging down the right hand side.
What do you think, Ronnie? Would you have Ahmad as a wing back, or do you like him more in that number 10 spot?
I think he's good at both, but as for someone that's advocated for him to play in the 10, I think he actually gets more space to do what he does best in this system as a right wing back.
Yeah,
but I still think he's good enough to where he can excel in that right 10 position as well. But I think the fact that people are still advocating for him to go back to the right wing back now is a case of, we just don't have anyone else that can play that at a good enough level.
It's not
That's
even
the
like
thing. Yeah.
The question, where is he better, for me isn't the right question. The question is, which position is the alternative worse, if you know what I mean? Like, if you're playing him at number, like, he's good at both, but are our other wing backs a lot worse than him? Are they much worse than him than our 10s are worse than... You know what I mean? Like, it's a drop-off. How big is the drop-off? I think our other 10s are better than our other wing-backs, personally. For that reason, I play him as a wing-back. I know that's like... It's a shame I have to look at it from that perspective. It's not about getting the best out of our best players. It's about getting the least bad out of our worst players. Like, I would put Bruno and Mainu as 10s with Ahmad as wing-back, rather than Dalot at right wing back and Ahmad in the 10, because I'm trying to limit how bad we are, not express how good we are.
We're Man United and you're talking like you are. How the fuck are we here?
I know, well, that's where we found ourselves, innit?
Limit how bad our players are.
What the fuck is this? I know. I wish it wasn't the case, but that is genuinely how I feel. We've got 14 minutes till kick-off. Looking at the numbers here, goals, corners per goal conceded. We've got the worst record in the league. Total goals from set pieces conceded, we've got the worst record in the league. We are absolutely diabolical from set pieces. Once again in the warm-up here, we're practicing balls into the box, we're practicing those set pieces. I think 5 games in a row, we've conceded from set pieces. 2 of which have been direct from fucking corners, which isn't even a thing. That cannot... It's hard enough just to kick it into the goal from a corner, let alone let it in twice in a week. Like, how are we this bad from set pieces, do you think?
I don't know. Is it just the fact that outside of like the late Casemiro and Maguire, we haven't really got anyone that attacks the ball well from corners, and that's a problem. We don't have. I think
two of those three haven't played much recently, have they?
Exactly, and that's probably why they both starting today.
Yeah,
because honestly, sometimes it's whether you've got like the intensity or the want to or the aggression to make sure the person that you're marking doesn't score. There's that part of it, but sometimes it's just basic physiology. Like, are we big enough? Are we powerful enough in the air? And a lot of the times we aren't. Because look at the goal that Forrest scored from the corner.
Yeah,
it's just Martinez is a 5'9" centre half, and he's against Milenkovic, who's 6'3".
Yeah,
so
he's got
about
up on him.
built like that on him, and there's nothing he can do about that. Do you know what I mean? And it's just you just get bigger. It's not basketball, but in a way, it kind of is becoming that way.
Pieces, it kind
do you know
of
what
is.
I mean?
Yeah. It's like with like a rugby line out. It's not just about getting the player, lifting them up. But if you don't lift them up, you're not going to catch it. Like, there's tactics and there's ideas and there's how you get it. But they lift that player up so he can reach the ball more high than if he was on the ground.
Do you think they should lift Martinez up then?
Well, here's my thinking, right? Is it legal? You did a little bit of reffing in your younger years, Ethan.
Yeah.
Is it legal for Harry Maguire and De Ligt to lift Martinez in the air at the near post to block any crosses coming in?
I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Right.
I know you're not allowed to hang on the goal. That's not allowed. So you can't block the goal by hanging off the goal. I think that seems fine.
So
I think Martinez on De Ligt's shoulders before the free kick's taken.
I like the sound
Back
of that as
post.
well. It might limit De Ligt's movement.
Well, he's not got much movement anyway.
No, that's fair. He was always stationary in the first place.
How much blame are you actually putting on Onana's feet? For the set pieces or goals, because there's a conversation I think that we should have there.
Yeah,
because he's not covering himself in any glory.
No, he was all really
Since you did that video.
I know. I wonder if you watched it. Almost certainly not, but it's just cracking timing from me, isn't it? Like you said about the Luis Diaz thing for Liverpool, when I said he was shit, he scored 2 goals against us. I still think he's not that good, but he's having a good season. Onana is making mistakes, isn't he? They can't, it's just one of them that I'm almost trying to avoid this conversation because there's so many other bigger problems at United. I don't want the keeper to have to be an issue as well now. Like, we've literally got our star player, academy graduate, the face of Manchester United, can't get in the squad because he's a bit of a knob somehow. We don't really know exactly how either, because it's not training related, it's not this related, it's not. But there's all rumours of loads of shit going on behind the scenes that no one's actually talking about. Like, that's the thing that should be taking up all of our focus, and instead we've got everyone's suspended. Where does this guy who couldn't get a game for us in Amad Diallo 6 months ago is now our only good player, and he needs to play in 2 positions at once, otherwise we lose. Like, how are we this bad?
6 weeks is a long time in football.
I know.
Because I think before that, everyone was lauding Onana as being like a changed man. He was getting the best keeper in the league shouts in terms of his performance level.
I said it.
His underlying metrics are really good, actually. And then he's had a couple of bozo moments. And then the narrative about him is flipped, and unfortunately that's just how it is as a keeper, because you can't afford to make those kind of mistakes, because unlike anywhere else on the pitch, there's no one else to back you up, and you almost always end up in a goal. And it's happened a few too many times that kind of burn in your memory since he's been here. And unfortunately, if you have a few months playing well and then you have a month where you've been a bit of a disaster, that does overshadow it, because as a keeper you'll be openly losing your team games doing that. Do you know what I mean?
And also top keepers don't have
and he don't make those mistakes.
In a row.
No, they don't.
They just don't. Let's go through some super chats. Joshua Bowater says, lads, do we think the club finances are even worse than we've thought, given what we're seeing get cut, or is Jim just being an out-of-touch billionaire? Well, we do tend to see quite a bit of it, don't we, because we're on the stock exchange. A lot of those finances, not every single detail, but a lot of it is public. So I think I'd be surprised if it's like way worse than we thought, but I'm not surprised that I'm taking away completely what Ratcliffe is doing, because we've spoken about that a lot and I disagree with the way he's going about it. But the fact that we have to make big changes to the way United spend money doesn't really surprise me. Because I can't imagine the Glazers had been like doing things sensibly for the last 15 years. Do you know what I mean?
There's been a lot of suggestion that a lot of these changes that have happened have also been kind of pushed by the Glazers as well, who people forget are still in charge.
Yeah.
And they actually still have most of the responsibility on the financial side of the football club. So then sometimes you could think about it, are the Glazers almost helping enforce these changes, but they've almost got that bumper of Ineos in front of them to take the blame
so what
for
you're
it.
saying is this time the Ratcliffe is the one being ratatouilled. Like
he's the puppet on a string.
The rat has become the Ratcliffe. Wait, what? I don't know. Brad Painter, hope we win. At a minimum, protect half-time record. Oh yeah, that's going to go at some point, isn't it? Where we've never lost a game that we were leading at half-time at Old Trafford in the Premier League. It's
Never.
It's like 1,200 games or something, or maybe 800 games, 400, I don't know, a number of 100 games, and we've never lost any of them. If we were winning at half-time, we've never lost in the Premier League. Eventually, that record will go, and is that any worse than we were losing and then we just lost? Do you know what I mean? Like, we've lost plenty of games at Old Trafford. The record I want is we haven't lost at Old Trafford in 10 years, not if we've been winning, we don't then lose, but only if it was before or after.
That's where we're scraping the barrel of records that we have
It's
left.
a good record, but come on.
I want to have a record of 5 games on the win, on the balance
that
we've won.
I imagine that for the first time in however long.
Yeah.
Juan Martinez says 6th, 3rd, 8th, currently 14th. Joe, we're an average of 7th place squad that happened to come 3rd. Amorim needs time and players, even if we finish 17th. I completely agree. He needs time and players, and we need the people buying those players to get it right. The key thing with any manager, unless you are coming into a successful team with good players who are on the at their peak, it's what team does your ownership build for you? That's the thing that saves any manager. If you can look at Ancelotti at Everton. He didn't win the league with them. He didn't even get nearly challenging top 4 with them. You can have the best manager in the world. If your squad just isn't very good, you're going to finish in a position that is not very good or slightly above.
Different managers are good at different things, though. They're elite at different things, because I think the likes of Pep Guardiola and Ancelotti, they might be better than other managers with a team full of superstars.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the other side's the management of.
I'm not saying that top managers don't help.
Whereas there's some
but you like. Pep Guardiola wouldn't win the league with this United because he just wouldn't.
For example, it might sound outlandish, but for example, if Pep Guardiola was managing Bournemouth, he might not necessarily be doing as well as Iriola's doing.
Yeah,
Iriola might just have a style of management and a management ability that suits getting almost like maximising players and work rate and some kind of the harmony that they have and the way they play. But Iriola might actually not do as well as Pep has done for Man City.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a bit. Obviously, you won't know until they actually do it, but I think there's always like different styles to management.
It's also to the sort of due diligence that you were saying before, the ownership with the players that they're bringing in, and whether they're going to get on with the manager and whether you're going to get any sort of, look where Arteta first went in at Arsenal. He had sort of the Aubameyang problem out, and that was a big move by him to sort of to put him out, wasn't it? And build a team around him. So it works both ways.
Yeah, it does. Get your score predictions in. 5 minutes till kick-off. Let me know who's going to score and what the scoreline is going to be. Akash says, it's my grand's birthday tomorrow. Let's get a win for her, lol. Sure. Let's do it. I'd love that. I'd love it if someone scored and they lifted Akash's grandma T-shirt on. This win is for you, lol. Sergey Lopez says, Gary Neville asked Amorim in pre-match because of the results, would he change his formation? He replied, no, he won't, because that's usually the end of a manager. I feel like he's taking a little pop at Ten Hag for putting Mazraoui in the 10 there. Tom Fox says, hard to train corner defending when there's no good takers. That's a good point. It's like that whole thing of trying to get sparring partners when you're about to face someone like Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
It's like you can spar all you want. No one's going to be like this guy when they get in the ring.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
He's a nightmare. James Beaumont says, do you think that Rashford was affected by how the club treated Jesse with no contract renewal and now has become a bit of a loner, hence the lack of form? I don't know. There's a lot of things that go into these people's lives and careers, and I do think it's a hard thing to be someone who is expected to win Man United games and trophies almost single-handedly at times, especially in terms of the front three output, and not being able to do it. That's a hard thing to accept, that you aren't good enough to win these trophies for Man United and push us to title challenges and Champions Leagues, and things have an effect on people. I think his head's not in the right place and probably hasn't been for a couple of years now. and I'm not saying that none of the blame is on him, because I'm sure a lot of it is, but he's clearly in a shit situation, and it seems like the only way out of it is for him to leave, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was a prodigy that's trying to do the best in a team that was a load of shit. If Rashford came through, I don't know, during the 10s, it'd be a completely different story with him, wouldn't it? But the pressure has been on his shoulders, and I'm not sort of letting go any of the stuff that's been happening the other side of the field, but it's not worked, and I can only see one outcome now. It would be interesting, though. I don't think anyone expects Rashford to get on the pitch tonight. If that happens, can this narrative change at any point? We've been here with Wayne Rooney and the whole Man City thing when he said he wanted to leave.
Yeah.
And
if he comes on and scores 2 goals,
that changes.
There will be a lot of people that go, let bygones be
football
bygones.
is a fickle world.
Nah, there will still be, if Rashford comes on and scores 2, there are still going to be a lot of fans that will actually be semi-annoyed about that.
Yeah.
That's literally how it works.
Well, the thing is, most people will stick to what they believe now, because most people do. But there'll be a lot of people that go, Rashford proved the haters wrong.
There'll be that as well.
You will see that, of course you will.
Goal alert.
Oh, go on, Ethan.
Multiple goal alerts, Joe.
All right.
Ipswich 1, Chelsea 0, and Aston Villa 0, Brighton 1, Joe.
Thank you very much. Adingra. Ethan, give me your score prediction. I'll start with you, because I'll start with someone who's positive.
Of course, and I've just been given word, Joe, that you can't lift a player because it's unsportsmanship behaviour and an indirect free kick is awarded. So your big Martinez idea of lifting him up a corner, you can't do it, I'm afraid. He's just small.
Shit. Even if it's your own player?
I'm afraid so, Scotty, that's the rules.
Terrible.
So you can't do a linesman, a line-out lift.
It's actually crazy the way he's talking about that, because Ethan obviously would have to get onto Joe's shoulders to be, I don't know.
Well, we do that when I buy alcohol, do it, would you?
Yeah, we do. It gets very sweaty under that trench coat, though, I will say.
Yeah.
And the smell is unbearable. Ethan, score prediction, please.
I'm going to say, Joe, because I think all the talk of Man United losing makes you think they're going to win.
I was about to say that. I thought we're actually going to win.
That's the only thing that makes me think we might win.
Yeah, because everyone thinks we're going to lose. Yeah.
So let's say a draw. Let's say 1-1.
1-1. Scotty?
I think it's going to be 2-1 Manchester United.
I think it's going to be, I was going to say a score draw, but he's already said 1-1, so I'm going to go for 2-2, because I'm concerned about the game, but I just feel like United still have players with ability, and I just think because the whole discourse has been that we have no chance in this game, and we've been quite negative about it, it just makes me feel like United are going to come out with a performance, but that might just be a whole lot of hopium.
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd absolutely love that. I'm going to go with...
Is that Kevin Keegan kind of reference?
I'd love it if we beat them. I'm going to go with I think we're going to lose, I'm sorry. I'm going to go 2-1 to Newcastle, which it pains me to say. Nikolai Madsen says 3-1 Newcastle. Isaac 2, Hoyland 1. Book of the Dead says 0-4 Newcastle. Lucas Varnadori says 1-1. 1-2 from Dan C. Brobot 3-3 scrappy draw. Costas KB says 2-1. Ifenyi says 4-1 United. Let's go. I'd love that. I love that optimism as well. Thank you for that.
It's the first 5 minutes in it. That's been massively dictating how United have gone on to perform in the game.
Yeah, massively. Let's get a bit of volume. I know that plays havoc with Ethan's mic, but we can work around it. Phil, if you do score, Ethan, you're allowed to cheer, but do be respectful.
I'm always respectful. I think
we won't
the number one thing people say about me, Drew, is he's respectful.
They don't.
I want to win, or even more, because they've got Dubravka in goal.
Yeah,
he was.
That feels as though it's a direct assault on our.
He was such a nice soul when he played, didn't it?
Well, I heard actually it might be quite an emotional return for him, so it could play with his head today, couldn't it?
Shut up! What did he play, like 3 games for us? It was terrible.
I think it might have been 3 minutes. I don't know.
Quite an emotional time.
Do you reckon they clapped him when he came on the pitch?
No, almost certainly not. I don't think the people remembered he was even playing for us. Most likely, United just little Xerxes. Hell. That was poor from Casemiro, actually. I don't want to blame him.
He loves
that.
Oh, shit.
Jacob Murphy. Oh, my God. I thought Dallo just given a penalty away then.
Yeah.
Did he know he was there?
Yeah.
Thank God. Dallo's had his hair cut nice and tidy, though. So if he does give a penalty away, at least he looks good doing it.
Do you believe in look good, play good?
Do you know what? I don't believe in look good, play good. I do believe in look good, feel good though, and maybe I believe in feel good, play good.
The reason why
So
I'm
maybe-
saying look good, look good, play good, is because I think, for example, Raheem Sterling has not played well for like a year,
Yeah.
and I feel like he's progressively looked more and more rough in his appearance.
Yeah, you do get that sometimes, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, do you remember when former Manchester United coach, actually, is he still coach? Tom Huddleston? I don't think he is. I remember he said he wasn't going to cut his hair, because he always used to have short hair, Tom Huddleston.
Yeah.
Didn't he? They said he wasn't going to cut until he scored, and he grew it for like 18 months. So,
And he finally scored.
And he finally scored. So I
And
don't
he
know if
scored bangers as well, Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, he did. He did. A little clip from 20 yards out. But I do always think that. I do think when you see a player and they've let the hair grow out and the beard grow out, you think, is everything all right? Why did you cancel this standing order?
I think usually I always put it down to
Tackle.
Well played.
Right,
Ahmad winning it back.
Space here now. Ericsson. Go on, Xerxes.
Bit.
Fucking hell. That just wasn't on, was it?
Shit.
Yeah!
Oh no.
There we go. This is the sort of stuff that when he was talking about, was it the Bournemouth game, and he was talking about the anxiety when Onana just miskicked.
Sometimes he's more bothered about looking cool
Yeah.
with his ball playing thing than actually.
And all of
doing
that almost let the ball run across him so far that he just didn't ever get it. He had to really stretch to control it there. Hate this. One little bit of positivity, wasn't there? Ahmad winning the ball back in the middle there before. It's like we're kind of letting Newcastle hold the ball at the minute.
Yeah. It's the gap there, isn't it? But I think he'd step in.
There's a lot. There's a good pass. Gordon, 1-on-1, clip to the back post.
Oh, shit.
Isak scored. There you go. A piece of piss. Not one pass or cross or header for that goal was contested. Not a single one. Every pass, the man had space around him. When they received the ball, they had space around him. When they laid it off, they had space around him. When he fucking heads it in from 6 yards out, he's got space around him. Literally, no part of that was hindered by Manchester United
What I
whatsoever.
don't get is
Look at this.
usually
Every single one of them, space.
with a back
Space.
five. How do you get?
Oh, we might be off there.
No, he's nowhere near.
I'm not sure.
How do you get a free header with a back five?
No
What?
one.
It's a great cross though.
None of that is
It's a great
contested
cross, but
at any
no one-
point.
Took it. Look, he stood in the 6 yard box on his
Stood
own.
on the 6 yard line
Got
by
a
himself.
deflection,
Oh, he
yeah.
got a deflection.
Is it between Maguire and Martinez?
So he's a little bit lucky that the ball had that trajectory on it, but fucking hell. Literally the first time they've got the ball in our box. 3 minutes in, we've conceded. See, we are checking for offside here. I don't know if it will be, but it looked
It's a
close
great
to me.
image that.
It did look close, this. I don't think that's
closer
obviously
than I thought.
onside.
The
That's
lowest,
really close.
Is it his
the
foot?
low or the lit.
It's Maguire and Delict, isn't it? The furthest back.
Yeah, it doesn't look.
Yeah.
He didn't look it. He didn't. It looked like a.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually quite a bit onside foot.
Yeah, there you go.
And Lewis Hall assist means that. R.I.P. Steve's mentions.
Yeah.
The whole Newcastle Twitter's been on to him the whole season about his take about Mazraoui and Lewis Hall.
You'll be delighted to hear, Ronnie, that I wrote that video for him as well.
Self-sabotage. He knew that it'd come back to bite.
You did it. It took a long time.
But the thing is with Steve, he'll dig his heels in. That's the problem. What he's done. So he's took it to say that Mazraoui was a better deal, but then he's had to go a step further because he got backlash to make it seem like Lewis Hall can't play football. Do you know what I mean? Rather than so that's the problem.
No, he's a decent player, Lewis Hall. Was it Lewis? Was it not Gordon with the cross?
It was Lewis Hall.
Was it?
So we're trying to say the same.
Well, I thought it was.
I thought it was
to be
Gordon,
fair, they do from this angle. They do look the same. Similar hair colour,
I'm not
similar
saying
build.
that. I'm not.
You don't have to. They do. What do you make of that, Sky? 4 minutes in.
I want to go home,
Yeah.
to be honest. Or can I throw something at Ethan?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that all right?
That's allowed. Ethan brought some biscuits in today that he got for Christmas. Feel free to just absolutely pepper him with a mint Viscount if you want to.
I'll sue.
He will sue. He's very litigious. I'll give him that. One of his best qualities.
Oh my god.
They're getting every fucking bobble as well, though, aren't they?
Yeah, they are getting a little.
Like the trajectory of that cross doesn't go straight to Isaac's head if it doesn't get that block. But then you could say, well, Mazraoui needs to get closer to him then.
Yeah.
Because if you're getting a block on it, you should be blocking it properly, not getting a deflection.
God.
Van Gaal used to be big on that, apparently. He used to hate it when players would get a block, but like get half a block rather than you either get out of the way and let the people behind you deal with it, or actually block it. None of the
He calls us to get something on it.
That's situational, because what if you actually go out, bust the gut, try and block it, and then it just hits off you and then ricochets?
Well, I've never questioned Van Gaal on it myself, but I remember players talking about that.
And the gaffers
Amorim
went sick at me for that.
Man.
Yeah. It's been bad, hasn't it? It's been really bad so far, if we're honest.
Yeah, it's alright. We've got Arsenal and Liverpool next.
If you're still 14th by, say, end of January, does Amorim get sacked?
No.
I hope not.
I think with Ineos, it's not outside the realms of possibility.
I
don't think they're that predictable.
Yeah, I don't think the fans would want him sacked.
And apparently they were
him.
very sack happy at Nice.
Yeah, they have been.
The thing is a lot of this is down to Ineos's arsing around with the Ten Hag sacking.
Yeah.
Amorim's had 30 days at Old Trafford and is trying to implement huge sort of turning the Titanic around adjustments with the team. The man's not had a pre-season, any signings that he wanted. This could have all been sorted had he done the right thing and sacked Ten Hag after the FA Cup final.
Yeah. They played through so easy there. Non-existent press from United. Well done. First couple of first-time passes there. That feels refreshing.
Delors should have been up the wing though, rather than.
When it gets a bit slow.
Jedi Master Tom says, relegation, anyone? Might be. It might be a relegation battle. Benjamin Topping, do we really think this is our best available 11? Looking on the bench, I think available, yeah, maybe Mainu instead of an Eriksen, but I see why you've got Eriksen in there with the lack of Bruno's ball playing ability. You don't want, Mainu can play the ball, but he's not on Christian Eriksen in terms of delivery. And
Just
Rashford,
unmarked.
Regardless of the deflection
It's
for the
absurd.
cross.
That is actually mad.
It is absolutely absurd.
3 centre halves in a box, and that space is crazy.
Look at this.
Yeah, and it wasn't just a bit of space. He had like a yard in front and behind him.
He could have controlled it on his chest and tapped it in.
And he's on a 6-yard line. It's not. He hasn't arrived. He's not challenging the space with a run. He's literally stood still. The ball comes and he nods it in. 6 yards out. No one touches him. The reason I said that as soon as they scored is because when I was watching them build up, I thought not one Newcastle player's had, like, Ugarte's like kicking everyone in the ankles when they get the ball. It makes passing difficult. It makes receiving the ball difficult. Every single pass Newcastle make, no one's challenging them. Like, no one's laying a hair on any Newcastle players here. It's absolutely ridiculous. And every single one of those passes for the goal, no United player were anywhere near it.
Can't match their intensity, man. That was the concern.
It's just easy for him. It's so easy for him. Go on then, that's not a great pass.
He's got the legs. He's quick.
That's absolutely destroyed Mazraoui there. That's not good, is it?
That's another one for them to clip up
Yeah.
for Steve.
I think Ethan will be clipping it up. He does well here, Coven, doesn't he?
Play. Oh my.
Well done, Delic.
I was always wondering how long it would take for, obviously, because I end up playing football. It is so hard to be like, let's stand out, like performing it excellently well in a team that's playing poorly.
Yeah.
I was always wondering how long it would take before it eventually infested
Mazraoui, yeah.
Because
he was never going to be 9 out of 10 every week, while everyone else was 4.5 out of 10 every week. It couldn't last forever, could it? It does tend to happen though with United players. We just bring players in, they start well, and eventually they just sort of sink to our level.
So the curse seeps in.
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
it?
going to happen to.
They eat the poisoned
Might happen to
chips.
Ugarte soon as well.
Yeah, he'll lose it. Although maybe he gets a bit longer because he started not great. So maybe he's fought against it once, and maybe he's got some.
Ugarte would have been perfect for today because he's
Yeah.
He's one of the only players that we got that's a bit Newcastle-ish in terms of like his intensity, the way he plays.
Yeah, like he's not hugely athletic naturally, but he's like you said, he's
more
got a real
than
intensity to him though.
Okay.
Oh no, man.
What's happening?
How easy was that?
Why are we all just like diving in like? Oh my god! Can't do anything.
Getting absolutely vacuumed.
I feel silly for only saying 2-1 to Newcastle.
Oh my god!
This is embarrassing.
Don't foul.
Hold on.
That was meant for Xerxes as well.
Fucking hell, we can't make a pass at the minute. Literally can't make a pass. Thoughts on the first 12 minutes, Scotty?
I think I said about 2 minutes in, as long as we can get through the first 20 minutes without any mistakes or anything like that, seems to dictate the rest of the game. And then lo and behold, deflected cross from the hit Mizraoui. But regardless, Martinez and Maguire should be picking up the man in the centre of the box. But they've been all over us.
Yeah, they have.
And made us look like a championship team, if I'm absolutely honest. And yet this is Manchester United at home, currently 14th in the league. And what is it, Liverpool next? If this carries on, people, we joke about relegation battles. It's a mad old league, man.
You keep losing every week. Eventually you're in a relegation battle, aren't you?
Okay, now. When are we playing West Ham next? That might be a six-pointer.
They're in behind it.
Look at that.
Luckily it's a bad first touch from Gordon.
That was Hull.
Fuck off. They're the same. Up close, their faces look nothing like each other, but their body shape and their hair colour is too similar.
Yeah, it's just default.
Yeah, and the 10 and 20 as well, so you've seen that zip.
That's what you're saying. It's just that they're both white.
Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus.
Hall there with
Gordon,
chance
Hall, Eddie Howe, they all look the same, don't they?
Yeah, it's like, and he's like,
yeah, he does.
Hall, Gordon, Eddie Howe.
Eddie Howe, he does buy players that look like himself.
They all look the same.
He wants a team full of players that look like him. That's why Joe Linton and Guimaraes dye the hair blonde as well.
Does he feel like he's God?
Howe
He's building a team in his own image.
Yeah, he is. Howe makes them two dye the hair blonde. It's literally up to him. That is the most late 80s haircut I've ever seen in my life, that. It's not just a mullet, it's like a proper old school mullet.
Yeah, it's mixing an acoustic guitar and double denim. Yeah.
I always think our footballers, they usually always they try something a bit different with their hair.
Yeah.
It's just boring life being just rich and like from like you've got to like change something for extra stimulus.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, isn't it?
Ooh. Yeah, oh shit.
It's not a foul, but that does hurt, that little elbow in the chops there for Xerxes.
What do you make of Xerxes Ronaldo? I've not had a conversation with you about him.
I think he's got traits.
What was that look there?
Wow.
That look was...
He's got traits.
Hell. Tell me some of these
Are they
traits.
good or bad?
I think, but they just don't match the team, or they don't match the league. I think his intensity way of playing is just not a fit for the Prem. I think the game's too quick for him. He's just more of like a technical kind of five-a-side, slower league player.
Yeah.
Like that's why he was so much better in the Serie A. I think he does have abilities, but I just don't think they're suited. I think he's a little bit too one-paced for me.
More laid back, too laid back for the Premier League.
Nothing wrong being laid back. We've seen laid back quality players in the past, but it's just I don't think he has enough quality to alleviate that. Because when I'm saying that, I'm talking about the likes of Berbatov, etc. But
that's the comparison, isn't it? I think in terms of like the body language and stuff. But Berbatov could, change games. He's phenomenal, wasn't it?
Yeah. So. Go on. Oh. Okay, now heads and volleys.
We've got a quote from Gary Neville talking before the game. He said, I didn't hear anyone say in the summer when Yoro, De Ligt, Ugarte, Xerxes joined that United hadn't signed half decent players. The problem is that when you see them out there in a red shirt, that United have looked a worse team. That's the odd thing. Talking about United getting worse despite seemingly having a half decent transfer.
What I've noticed, Gary Neville doesn't rate. I think he was sceptical about it. He's one of those that, similar to me, that's probably sceptical about Ugarte.
Yeah.
I don't know, probably at the overlap he had analysis people talking to him or whatever, blah blah. And then he just doesn't seem to rate Ugarte, does he?
No. He doesn't seem to
Even
rate
when he
De
plays
Ligt either.
well. Yeah, he doesn't rate it. Yeah.
He doesn't praise him
Neither
very
does
much at all.
Scholes doesn't really rate him either.
Do you rate De Ligt though? I think De Ligt's, I think he's pretty average. I don't think.
I think he's solid.
Yeah, but I like.
But I think people have over-egged how good he is. There's a reason why he's been let go by 2 footballing giants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's not like because he's exceptional, but he's decent. He's solid.
Go on then.
And
Xerxes just
look at him
taking himself
Just a
out of the
stroke.
game there. He just did nothing. He didn't make
Oh,
the pitch
shit.
wider. He didn't make a run in behind.
What the
Isaac's
fuck?
literally
Where's
running the
Martinez?
keeper here. And
Oh,
luckily,
yes.
Isaac's had an absolute bozo
Whoa.
moment.
Nah, I loved the complacency. I loved the.
He had too much time to
That
think there, didn't he?
No,
It literally was so easy for him. He decided, I'll make this harder for myself.
It was harder to fuck it
Because
up.
United aren't. He's in his own half,
So he's not offside.
nowhere near offside. Well, he's
Martinez
just
is-
in his own half.
Martinez is switched off, and he's.
Why he doesn't just drill
got
it across
cocky with it.
Onana there? If he drills it across
Thank
goal or
goodness.
even near
Got away
post,
with that.
you could probably side foot that near post. With the way Onana gambles, you could probably side foot that near post and score. Who's he got on to pass here? No one. Well done. He's done really well there, Mazraoui.
Man on,
Man on.
man on! Shout to him for fuck's sake! Ahmad down.
Yeah. He took ages there as well, didn't he? Do you know what this performance has felt like so far? It's felt like the last couple of games of a manager before they get sacked. This is what we've looked like tonight. Like everyone is shit. The opposition looks faster, stronger, like they care more than we do, more quality. We look awful. It literally looks like if this was Ten Hag now, I'd go, he's got to go. Do you know what I mean? Like this is like we look like we're seeing the last few games of a manager. This is horrendous performance.
It's a continuation, isn't it? I mean, you got to hold your hands, but it's we never got the new manager bounce, did we? That a lot of people expect when Amorim comes in. Yeah, it's abysmal bollocks. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Look at him, just 1-2s around our midfield. No chance. You got Ericsson trying to man-to-man press against Bruno Guimaraes. That's never going to work.
No, it's not.
Oh, fuck off!
Another free header.
Fuck
It wasn't
off.
a free header, but it's another header. 2-0.
Go fuck off.
Fucking hell. This is absolutely mad, isn't it? We look absolutely shit. Absolutely.
The thing is, not
awful,
one of them are
you know.
turning around and
shit.
fucking shouting at each other. The fucking bunch of cowards. Where's the fucking captain? They should be turning around and blaming each other for being fucking shite. They're all cowards, heads down. Take some accountability and play for the fucking shirt. Not allowed to say that.
Too late now.
Sorry.
It's alright. What happens here? One of either Hall or Gordon on the left-hand side. Just a clip into the box. It's too easy, isn't it? Joelinton beats Martinez in the air. 2-0. Again, what is he? 3 yards out by the time he heads it? 4 yards out. It's done.
Wasn't it a
it's
clean
not even
header, was it?
I don't know. It's hitting shoulders and all sorts there, but it's a goal. I was going to say maybe they're checking for on ball, but no on ball. 2-0.
Who was it that he towered over then as well? Was
Martinez.
that? Right, yeah. Bruno.
So easy, that.
So that goal is
El
that
Casemiro. Every pass is 40 fucking yards lobbed in the air before it lands.
That goal is what I've talked about. So you've got Ericsson man-to-man press against Bruno Guimaraes. He's never winning a ball off him in a million years. Bruno just walks around him.
It's not the time.
And then Joe Linton's just too big for your 5'9" centre half.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
Feel for Amorim. Feel sorry for him. What can he even do? What does he do here? Because is there a point? Do you worry that we've got so long? We've still got 5 months left of the season. It's not like this isn't going anywhere. He can't run away from this. Like if we just keep losing every week, what do we do? Are the players not buying in? Are they just not good enough? Like surely we're not this. The players aren't this bad, or are they? Is it just a personnel issue?
I think they are.
You think they are? Yeah.
Fucking go to the ball, you twat! Why are you backing off for so fucking long?
Thank you, that's better.
Fucking hell!
That's better.
We're in a game where we're getting outran to everything, and you stand there for 5 seconds waiting for the ball to roll to you at 1 mile an hour. That's absolutely fucking absurd. What is he thinking there? Fucking hell.
That's the thing with intensity. I know you were talking before about you think it's down to ability and stuff like that, but intensity is something that, it's not. You should have that.
Well, he had intensity after he lost it.
After he should, but you should have that
Yeah,
from the,
of course he should.
From the off.
You can see. Because him being tackled gave him a bit of a burst of intensity.
Yeah, so it's there. It exists.
It's not innate. It's not their natural first thing. There's
no urgency in them at all.
No, it's ridiculous. And it's like the fact that we're losing is making us less bothered rather than more bothered.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Instead of getting more intense and more, chucking a couple of fouls in and hurting someone, it's let's just slow it down even more now.
We become more passive, don't we? I think.
I think the thing as well, Drew. I'm not
Sorry,
no, I'm not tripping it. Sorry, but I've watched a team who's been in relegation battles for years, and the thing that annoys you, so you can be losing games, and I'm used to that. But it's when you're losing games where you're not running, or you're not making those challenges. Yeah. There's a different way of losing, isn't there? You're allowed to not be in a good run of form, but it's your attitude about it. This attitude stinks for me. This is poor. Yeah,
Everyone's just. Well, that's what I mean. It looks like they can't be arsed.
Well, the conversation
Keep
before
the ball. Well
Come
done.
on.
That's good pass and all.
Come on.
Not quite.
The conversation before the game, Joe, when you were talking about the wing-backs and the lack of goals that we scored when we played defensive wing-backs, doesn't bode well now, does it?
Yeah. I mean, it's not stopping them creating chances.
He's having a fucking nightmare. You can hear how much Old Trafford hates Xerxes.
Crowd are struggling
to
with
be his
Xerxes,
player style, you have to be incredible.
Yeah. Like Berbatov. Berbatov, who would score goals.
Even Martial.
People would groan at Berbatov at times.
Even Martial, United fans generally didn't like him just because he wasn't like busy and
people like Berbatov, but he'd get those groans. I remember when that penalty that he missed.
Well, the flip side of it is if you look at Veron.
Yeah.
Veron was very similar, sort of that laid-back nature, but was world class, but still didn't do it at United because people didn't buy into it.
Yeah, you have to be really good to have that sort of like languid sort of style, don't you? Especially in this team when everyone's lacking, like you said. I can't imagine any of these lot. Maybe Dallow's probably a bit quicker than he seems, but it's in general a rather sort of unathletic team.
And then you add, and then with the lack of confidence and the losing and the belief kind of seeping out, it just makes everyone's legs a little heavier as well.
Yeah, it does, definitely.
I don't know.
Rough stuff, this, isn't it? Too easy, that. They checked it for handball. I wondered if it had. They checked it for handball. I think
Martinez on it.
Yeah, he heads it into Martinez.
That goal shouldn't have stood out. Because any touch of the arm in the immediate build up to a goal is.
But you know what though?
I didn't even spot that.
And the refs obviously would never admit this. There's no way Man United in their current form getting outplayed like this that they disallow a goal.
No.
There's absolutely no chance. Maybe if it was the other way and it's Xerxes scores it, you might. But they buy into the storylines of these games, and Newcastle are battering us. And
this is a joke.
It's like the refs kind of go, well, what do you expect?
Yeah, that's one of those that gets disallowed for someone else.
Yeah, good catch. Gordon there with a shot.
Oh yeah, we forgot another one.
It was Lewis.
You know, someone we forgot Harvey Barnes as well.
Yeah, he's on that list, but luckily he's not playing
on that list. Sounds like profiling this.
How have they got the ball back in our final third? And he's got so much time to take a shot.
That was flying in you.
Tonali there, he takes a shot, he takes a touch. It's like 2-3 yards in front of him, and he gets to run up to it and hit it without anyone challenging him.
Tonali, man, he took a gamble.
Yeah, he did. Very good. FBF1 Sports says Xerxes is a liability, midfield non-existent, and that was handball. I don't disagree with any of those three statements. Dan says Casemiro and Eriksen, what did we expect? Awful choice. Yeah, all right. Mainu is the only other option. You can put Collier in there, I suppose, as well, but I don't know. What should we have done? What should Amorim have done? Would you have... We didn't...
Oh,
I thought they were going to score straight from a corner again. I actually thought they were going to score straight from a corner again there. Didn't you?
Yes, I thought that was flying in. It was on the way, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Can you imagine if that happened again? It's a good set piece, that. Was it Trippier? Well, of course it was. I actually thought they'd scored straight from the corner through to... Not again.
Oh my fucking God.
Oh my God.
But word's got around now. Do you know what I mean? How susceptible we are to that.
It's not even that easy to do that. Do you know what I mean? To kick it in to like the top corner from a corner isn't that easy. I know he's not achieved it there. But like, not only are we susceptible to it, you have to be able to do it. And for some reason, everyone we play against is just pinging them in top corners from the corner.
But I tell you what, Onana was feeling like a right knob that people do that to. It's like, he's shit. Try and score from the corner
that
directly.
That is a real indictment.
Yeah,
when the opposition thinks they can score straight from a corner against
Put
you.
it on him.
Yeah, it's not ideal, is it? Fucking hell. I hate it when we're in this mode where it's just there's nothing to like about the team, off the pitch, the performance. There's no one to rally around except Ahmad, and even he's not having a great game. That's a good pass, though.
I tell you what, I wouldn't be massively surprised if Rashford comes on.
No, bring him on. Put him in net. Let's try something.
It'd be interesting. I wonder what do you reckon his reaction would be from the crowd?
I'm thinking just
to Rashford.
put on somebody. Have we got any youngsters?
We've got Collier. We've got Kokonki.
Kokonki.
Fucking hell. This is embarrassing. Honestly, I want to give Amorim a hug. I feel genuinely sorry for him. The situation that he's walked into. Yeah, well, that's because, unlike you, I didn't say he was going to finish top 4.
Did I say that?
There was a lot of people hyping up what remained of this season, and I was trying to stay realistic. And for that, I was told that I didn't like Amorim. Now it's got even worse than pessimistic Joe thought it could, and now it looked like I was too optimistic. My worry, I know you didn't say he was finished top 4 really, but can Casemiro keep the ball on the floor for once? Why are you clipping the ball in the air for fucking Ahmad and Dan Burn to contest?
That was a hospital pass.
What are you doing? Every pass he makes, he's clipping it in the air, a volley through the air. Pass it on the floor. Look at him, he's just been fucking thrown over like a pit bull grabbing a fucking toy helicopter that someone just got for Christmas. Absolutely ragdolled.
And Newcastle have another penalty. I mean, a corner draw.
Shut up. I know we're bad, but they're not quite 80% goals. Fucking hell.
He's never smiled so much. I swear, in the 3 years of me coming in the studio,
I've never seen him like this. It's horrible.
like a fucking Colgate advert looking over there every time.
Corner to Newcastle. For some reason, they've played it short.
You mean
Literally
Colgate
just-
advert
literally
on the
just
before,
toying
not
with
the
us,
after? Oh, shit.
Toying with us now, Newcastle. Don't even want to put the ball directly in.
They won a corner. Oh, basically he's a corner. Dan Burns. All 6 foot
They're using
9 of him.
corners to get more corners.
Yeah.
Isaac cuts inside, couple of touches, lays it off. Gordon.
No way.
He's offside. He must be offside.
Offside.
Isaac scored, but he has to be off,
He's
surely.
offside.
Oh my God.
He doesn't.
I mean, he took that well, but
What's his contest?
What a
Did
finish.
he got a
sweet finish,
deflection?
that, wasn't it?
He's 100% offside.
He looks like he's
surely.
100% off.
And if it's a deflection, it's not deliberate play of the ball, is it?
No. Let's see what happens.
Oh, he's on!
No,
Oh, he's off.
He's only off by
I don't like
6 yards.
I don't like how much fun you're having. I don't like how much fun is he having?
He gets a deflection. It comes off Ericsson last, but it's not a deliberate action like Ethan said. So rightly disallowed, but it's a great finish. Honestly, like you said, was it you, Sky? We look like Newcastle playing the League One side in the FA Cup, don't we?
Yeah. We are just making up the numbers here on the pitch.
God.
Fucking God. What can he do? What can he do? What can Amorim do at half time? Can he do anything?
I'd lock them all in.
You could resign, Joe.
Shut up. We're about to
Oh
score
my
a
days.
third here.
Oh,
Oh my fucking god.
Oh my god.
Tonali just hit the inside of the post again. Somehow he's got a clean shot from 6 yards out. Good pass, good touch as well from
sharp
Xerxes.
moments from Ahmed, but that's it.
From Ahmad, innit? That's it.
Oh my god, this is really bad. Yeah, something has to change. Is Mainu coming on? Did we say?
Yeah.
Who? Oh yeah, Covey. I thought he said someone else as well. Yeah, he has to do something.
I think Ericsson's going for it.
This is so bad, isn't it?
Nobody wants to start digging out the manager, but I think when we saw the lineup, everybody saw Casemiro and Ericsson in that midfield and thought that's going to go.
We worried that this might happen.
Yeah, and what's happened? So why has the manager not saw that? And I know Mainu's not been brilliant since he's come back.
We'll see how we play once he comes on. Because my worry is, I don't know. He's more mobile than Ericsson for sure.
Oh my god.
What? That was weird. He's more mobile than Ericsson. I don't know how much more mobile he is. Maybe 20%, which can be a big thing.
He's about 10 years more mobile than.
No, he is. But I think Amorim thought we'd have more possession.
I think it's Xerxes that's coming off.
Is it?
Because I heard cheers, so I feel like that's the sort of thing Old Trafford.
He should have scored there.
Yeah,
it is.
Xerxes
Cheering
coming off.
That's
So what's happening there? Mainu in the 10? Ericsson in the 10?
Ericsson in the 10, Mainu moving back.
Being dragged off at 32 minutes.
To be fair, he has been poor.
That's
and he isn't alone in that by any means. I can't think of anyone who hasn't been poor.
That might be it, you know.
That's got to be it for him, I know that's a terrible indictment.
Bloody hell, this is a disaster, isn't it?
He's off, look, it's going down the tunnel.
Storming off.
Yeah, Ericsson's pushed forward. There were some reports, weren't there, from very unreliable sources about a potential loan for Xerxes in the winter. I mean, I'm literally just seeing an unreliable source.
Are we in a position to be loaning players?
No. I saw the same with Casemiro going to Saudi. Like, who'd play today? Gordon Hoyland's in here.
Oh my god! Do you know why I didn't jump up?
Scored.
I just didn't have any belief that he'd score, but it wasn't even that
thought
bad
he
an
might.
effort.
It was a good effort.
If that goes in, it could be a different game, you know.
Yeah.
First decent chance.
At least 2-2 still.
First half chance, let alone decent one. Like, it's a good chance, but that's the first thing of any note we've created, isn't it?
How close is it?
Oh, it's not far. It's a decent effort, that. He's a good finisher when he gets in those areas.
2-2 still on.
Oh, it's not
unlucky.
far.
It's unlucky.
So, let's hope this substitution can change things, because...
Yeah. And we kind of have to hope as well that Newcastle slow down a bit, that they sit off and kind of think, right, I feel like we've benefited from that at times this season.
Well, they were like hyenas picking at a carcass, aren't they, for the first 20 minutes?
They're not slowing down, look, they're still going for it. But then, like against Tottenham, I think we were helped by the fact that Tottenham thought they'd won.
See, I got quite encouraged by that Tottenham game, even though we lost it. Well, you saw that the fight back felt on in a time that I've not seen it before.
Yeah.
There we go. Eminem 5533 says, why is Amorim being praised for sticking to a system that doesn't suit our players? It's not giving in to the players to play to their strengths. That's true.
Because
on one hand,
because you're bringing in a gaffer that's done well with a system and philosophy that he has. That's the whole reason why.
Yeah.
You
why is he
him.
here?
So it's why it's more on. The onus is more on the employers than anything.
Because he didn't want to come, did he, until the summer?
Yeah. Why have you brought
and
him
the technical
in?
director and stuff to. This was apparently one of Dan Ashraf's gripes with the appointment.
The formation and structure.
That formation change and system change so drastic without a window was going to be a little bit iffy.
Yeah. And I think we all said that. Amorim himself has said that. So we knew this. The thing is, this is what always happens. Everyone says it's going to get worse before it gets better. We'll live with it. We'll put up with that. We get it. As long as it makes its way better in the end and we can we have to go through this. Everyone, in theory, agrees with that. But then in reality, when it happens, everyone hates it. And we're like, we've got to get rid of this or move on to this. Like, either you put up with the fact that it's shit for a bit or you don't. But people love saying that they're up for it. And then when it is actually shit, it's like, oh, we need to look for a new manager or this isn't working. Like, it's not working right now. We knew it wouldn't. He said it wouldn't. Everyone could see that it wouldn't. What did we think it wouldn't, but actually secretly it would and we'd be fourth?
The thing is, that's all well and good, but you've got to be able to sort of remove your emotions from the game, then, haven't you? To play to look at it from a long term,
which is hard.
Fans go by game. It's all right saying, okay, we look at it in the long term, but when you're having to live it week in, week out.
I'm not saying enjoy losing, by the way, but I think we're getting to the point where some people are kind of looking at this is the manager's fault, and and he can make mistakes within but like, it's stupid, we shouldn't have done this, we shouldn't have got him in the first place, all these sorts of things. Ahmad's having a really poor game today. Again, he's not alone in that.
Forgot you.
But it's like, fair enough, be annoyed and mad in the moment.
To be fair, you wanted to sell him.
All these players, I thought they would sell him, and I thought because of that, I honestly thought if Erik Ten Hag hasn't fancied him for 3 years, he's probably going to get sold, and fair enough. Obviously, I was wrong, and Ahmad's been our best player probably in the last 2 months, but he's having a poor game today.
Go on, Maz. Some control.
It was.
Slowly trying to get ourselves back into the game.
At least steadying the ship a little.
Yeah.
That's a positive we can take.
Slowly. But yeah, the onus is on Ineos for the timing of the appointment.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a disaster this season, hasn't it? I say a bit. It's been an absolute disaster this season.
The lack of backbone that they had at the FA Cup final, backbone or foresight as to what they wanted to do. No way on earth should any board of a football club waver to fan opinion.
No, and the thing is, I wanted to keep him, and I would have kept him, and I would have kept him longer than he got as well.
Who?
But Ten Hag, but
why?
Because I think that this squad isn't good enough, and I thought that for ever since Ten Hag got here, and that he's not been perfect, and I like Amorim, and I want him to be successful, and I think he's got a better chance than Ten Hag did. So whatever, but like you said, Scotty, backing him and then sacking him after 2 months is literally the worst of both worlds. Either be strong and get rid of him, or stick with him. Don't do.
They should have kept him. They should have kept him for the season.
Yeah. Or fucking sacked him after the FA Cup final. Like,
Amorim, by his own admission, said that he wanted to come at the end of the season, and obviously would have been up for the job.
Yeah. Yeah, sacking someone.
But now
10 games into the season is just a disaster, because it gives the new manager, like we're seeing, no chance to improve his squad. Is beholden to the transfers that the last managers made, who also might be a bit pissed off now that the guy who used to like him is no longer here. Like, if you're a Xerxes or whoever, you might be thinking, I was brought in by this bloke, and now there's a completely new system that doesn't suit me whatsoever.
Yeah.
What's the point of me being here? Fucking hell. The runs off the ball are killing us at the minute. Absolutely killing us. Go on, Ahmad.
You just get back so quick as well.
They do. Look at them. They've got 11 men behind the ball straight away. They just work harder than we do, don't they? It's a team full of players who work really hard, and we don't. It's a good touch, though.
The low's got to be there, though.
That's not out. That's not gone out.
Oh my.
That's ridiculous.
That's your Johnny Wilkinson attempt thing that you're talking about.
Yeah, I was just going to say then, we've got the ball in this area for like the first time of the game where we've actually like got it into a wing area, played it back to midfielder, he's got the pitch in front of him. And instead of keeping it or trying to reduce the pressure, he just twats it over from 30 yards out.
You're Marcus Rashford, what's going through your head there now, Ronaldo? Do you want to come on the pitch?
Yeah, I feel like a bit of you just, the whole professional ego is like, I'll come on and make a difference. I can't be any worse than what's been played out there. But at the same time, you got to think about where he's going to be mentally and also where he's going to be physically. He's not played in a little bit.
Yeah.
And obviously sharpness and their little 1%, they matter at this level. So there's a pretty good chance he'd come on and actually look way off it. Do you know what I mean?
And also because he's not coming on with like 12 minutes to go. He's coming on expected to sort of save the game with an hour and 10 minutes to go.
And then what does that say about Amorim? if a player that he's intended on getting rid of,
It's
that he relies on that.
Here's the thing: nothing that this game says about anyone is any good, is it? It's not. No one is coming out of this for Man United.
No. Go on,
with
Ahmad.
their reputation intact, including Amad Diallo, who's not playing particularly well. But like Mazraoui's got
Christ,
skinned by Gordon. Delix
Well, he's doing
looks
any
like
worse
he
than
can't turn
the-
around.
the
Martinez
others.
gets beat in the air again. Xerxes already come off because he can't keep the ball. Casemiro looks like he's purposely trying to lose. Like everyone for Manchester United at the minute look terrible.
Is there any other club, right, in the world that has the soap opera that Man United have? I just don't know. I don't know if I've got like cabin fever or like sort of insular feeling because I'm day in day out Man United and you sort of
Yeah. The thing is, Barcelona do, but they win leagues while they're doing it. They win a league every 3
Arsenal
years.
did.
like there's always some soap opera, isn't there? Like
Yeah.
do you have any? You had Biker Grove up there for a bit. What's it like up there for like when the new owners came in? I imagine that was the biggest drama on Tyneside.
Yeah, that was a big drama. That was quite special. There was a lot of noise around that, and then you've got relegations on the other side
Yeah.
when you're going down, and it's a big disaster.
You had the Sports
but-
Direct stuff going on as well, didn't you, for a bit?
Yeah, we've had a fair few dramas, but this is pretty huge for United. This is their worst ever season, isn't it? So that's why it's so big.
It's not over yet.
That's
Could get
true.
worse.
Yeah. Might be anyone's worst ever season before we're done. We couldn't really. You don't think we could get relegated, do you? Do you actually? Do you think we could?
We're
Like, be
actually
honest.
considering it.
Be
Nah,
honest.
you know what? No, because I think what will happen
We're not as bad
we
as
could end up
Southampton.
there or thereabouts, and then but I think we'll have a stretch because we've got a stretch of tough games. I know they're all tough in the league now, but I think we should have enough, man. Jeez, that's actually mad that we're being serious in this combo, though. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
It is mad.
Oh. So what's Ericsson's gone as a 10 now? Left side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ericsson's pushed forward in the 10. I can't work out whether Newcastle have purposefully dropped off a bit because they've got a
no,
lead
it's
to
just-
hold, or whether the subs made a little bit of difference. We've had the ball a bit more last few minutes, haven't we? But do you think that's just coincidence?
Yeah, it's nothing.
Oh. I mean, I don't think they could have played at that intensity for the whole 90 minutes.
No,
but
they can. It's all situational. Look, I mean, you can just sometimes just sit off into a bit of a low block. You don't have to. I don't think. Maybe they think we're 2-0 up now. We don't necessarily need to go hunting them. We'll pick our moments, and we don't know whether they've got the quality to break us down.
Well, but they probably know that we haven't.
that's the thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
They can afford to sit back, can't they?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ!
because we literally don't make chances against anyone.
Whoa!
I can't believe what I'm seeing out of Casemiro today. Like in the past, his bad performances have been like his off the ball positioning and effort and all that.
Yeah.
His passing today has been abysmal.
Yeah.
Absolutely abysmal. Absolutely crazy.
You know. Do you reckon Ten Hag becomes Tottenham's next gaffer? I heard there's rumours of that,
Completes the cycle. I think it's a bad idea if he does.
and he actually wins a trophy there because
No, I
that's
think
what
it's a bad
because that's
idea.
one thing he guarantees no matter what.
No one guarantees trophies. Jose didn't even win a trophy there,
Oh yeah, shit, yeah.
and that wasn't even necessarily his fault. But he did get set. Casemiro's got an 82% pass success rate, which, if you're playing as a number 10, that's acceptable. If you're playing in a 2 midfield, that is not acceptable. Misplacing 8 of his 44 passes.
Yeah.
He needs to be solid in there. He needs to keep the ball better than that. Ericsson's the same.
Look at Dan Burn making runs in behind.
Yeah.
Watch now, he's got a cross on his head.
Well, they just get the ball in. Like they'll just put the ball in, and like we
Oh, no.
fuck
Why is
about
nobody
with it
on
so
him?
much. Gordon here. This is just awful, isn't it? Absolutely diabolical. This.
Just looks so easy.
Yeah. They've not had to do anything particular.
I was really worried about this game. I just
Yeah.
thought it's not a good matchup for us.
There was a few people in the comments, and a lot of people were agreeing with us. There's a few people in the comments saying, why we're being so negative, why we're so down on the game and stuff pre-match. But like you said, Ronaldo, it's just one of those matchups that they are everything that we struggle with.
Against.
Oh,
Go on. Oh, come on.
Go on.
Must be.
I honestly think he's bet on us to lose, Casemiro.
I think that's the chances we have of them being a little bit complacent. The Isak finish.
He's got a score.
That Shah, so that's just like the game's easy. Look, have that.
Take a touch if you
That's
want.
disgusting.
Take a touch.
Oh. He's got all day.
That's actually going well. I thought the only saving grace was it wasn't at St James's Park. I thought night
that
game
might
under the
help.
lights against them. I thought we would have got terrorised, swallowed up. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's what it's been anyway, isn't it? You've got to hit that. Well done, Cobby.
Cobby's been alright since to come on.
Yeah,
to
it's been alright. Like there, we won the ball high up the pitch for like one of the first times all game. And the pass to him wasn't 100% perfect. It was a bit firm, a little bit behind him maybe, but Casemiro there. Just either take a touch if the pass ain't good enough or just get it on target. It's miles wide as well, wasn't it? It was nowhere near.
No.
Dubravka pinging it about.
Oh my god.
That's not good. Well done.
Oh.
Who's that? Casemiro there, won it back. Well done.
Knock it.
Look at him here. Look, Ahmad.
4v1.
Four on him.
Look at the work though. Look at him.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Look at the intensity.
Look,
Do you know what I mean?
You've got
That
1,
working
2, 3,
intensity,
4
Ronaldo,
in the
isn't that
square.
ability, is it? That's
Look at
not
that.
ability. That's like
Four
that's like
guys,
having that in yours.
2-0 up.
Yeah. And we
That's
saw that the
him,
other day as well. Who did we play the other day?
Wolves,
Same
Bournemouth.
thing. Wolves. Every time Ahmad got the ball, 4 on him. 4 on him. They had Cunha dropping back in. They had the full back, and they had 2 midfielders coming over as well. They just absolutely swarmed him every time. Half time. Newcastle. Well, United 0, Newcastle 2. Ronaldo, give me a little summary of that half. What have we seen there?
Just domination really. And the only opportunities that we've really had in the game, or only positives we've had in the game, have been when Newcastle have been complacent and a bit lax and almost finding it too easy and giving us opportunities, even it could be worse. I think I spoke about this on previous watch-alongs in other games. Isak running in 1v1 and just chipping a ball into your keeper's hands, that's almost as damning. It's almost as damning as him put rifle in the corner. It's like, it's almost just a no respect for you, for the team and the club, just taking a piss, thinking this is a walk in the park and this is easy. And before the game we were worried we got called negative, we were called being pessimistic, but I looked at our starting 11, I looked at our team, I looked at everything that we've struggled against for the last 18 months, and Newcastle, in terms of a styles makes fight situation, Newcastle couldn't be a worse matchup for this iteration of a United side. We can't match them intensity, we can't match their physicality, we can't match their speed anywhere, we can't match him pretty much anywhere. And Amorim needs to know that in the Premier League you can't start Casemiro and Eriksen pivot, especially in this system.
Yeah.
There is no way you can
Especially
start
against
them.
Newcastle.
Can start them
Because one
too.
thing they've got is work rate, legs, tenacity. Like, Scotty, thoughts on that first half? That was just horrendous.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, people calling us pessimistic in the comments. I think we're more realistic. Everything that we expected or that we feared before kickoff has come into fruition, really. I was fearful of the first sort of 10, 15 minutes. If we managed to get through that without any mistakes, then we could go on and maybe get something out of the game. That didn't happen. Terrible defending. Yes, they got a bit of luck with the cross in, but regardless, Martinez or Maguire, whoever it is, should be doing better with the cross. And then they just continue from there. Intensity again from Newcastle has been all over. We are a championship team. That's the football that I'm watching at the moment, and I'm all for Amorim and stuff. But the Eriksen and Casemiro pivot, we said it before kickoff, it was always going to be a fade due to their age, and the likes of Bruno, Joelinton and Tonali in the Newcastle midfield, and they've overrun us, and we've had a little bit of luck. Tonali hitting the post, that should have, he should have done a lot better there. When Isak went through, he should have done better there than chip it into Onana's hands. Casemiro should have bagged that at the end. That's indefensible that he missed that. We looked a little bit better when Kobe Mainu came on. With Højlund had a decent chance from that. But I am clutching at straws here to try and find any positives from that Man United display. It's just been... You watch the Wolves game or you watch the Bournemouth game, you're looking for little things, all right, we can build on them positives there. Ralph Rangnick said, was it 18 months, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, that it's open heart surgery. Man United's moving to a post-mortem now because it's dead. Honestly, that football is shocking. Yeah,
it's just been absolutely awful, hasn't it? Like, no one on the pitch has had a good game. Even the usual consistent players, Mazraoui, Ahmad, have been poor. Mazraoui getting skinned a couple of times by Gordon. One time in particular where he just slows him down, knocks it past him, and he's through, basically one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Too many times in that game we've just been outworked and outran, and some of that is a physicality, natural ability. Some people are quicker and more physical and stronger than others just from birth, but there's a distinct lack of effort and lack of interest from United at times today. And certain, like Casemiro, some of his decision making, I was saying it about 20 minutes in, and he continued to do it. Every pass he did came down with snow on it, and you're clipping balls out to Amad Diallo, who's 5'6", with whoever it may be, Dan Burn or Lewis Hall or whoever, flying through the back of him, taking him out. It's like you're just doing things that hurt us as a team. And looking at some of the numbers, Joshua Zirkzee got pulled off after 32 minutes, was it?
He had a horror show.
Completed 3 of his 9 attempted passes, 33% pass accuracy. Obviously...
His performance stank. I'm not going to lie to you.
Pulled off after 32 minutes. Really, really poor. Looking at some of the numbers, 50-50 in possession. That was much more favouring Newcastle up until about 35 minutes where Kobe Mainu came on, which helped. And also, I think Newcastle kind of not defended the lead by any means, but realised that they didn't have to be quite as gung-ho and allowed United to have a bit more possession. 0.3 XG to Newcastle's 1.92. They had we had 3 shots, they had 11. They had 4 big chances. United had two big chances in fairness as well, but all of the numbers, all the stats, everything, watching the game, you don't need the stats to say it. We're completely dominated.
Can just go off eye test alone. Yeah. Wow, we are bad. Xerxes, horror show, deserve to be dragged off. Eriksen and Casemiro, that pivot, just... I don't know. I can't find the words to explain how slow they are. They can't get close to their midfield trio. They can't even... And then it's kind of impacting their on-the-ball stuff as well. So now when they're receiving the ball, they're just knocking it long. There's no belief there. Casemiro can't pass the ball to a red shirt. And neither can Eriksen, and that's his best trait. I'm looking at that now, and he just can't get near anyone. And I think we might need one of the back 5 to be a little bit braver, stepping into midfield and be aggressive. But
yeah,
we've got players that won't do that. That Isak goal, you can't have 3 centre halves in a back 5 in the box, and then it falls on the striker's head 6 yards out on the edge with no one anywhere near him. I can't believe that. I don't know. There's so much wrong with that first half performance. I don't know where to start.
Yeah. It's almost impossible to go through it all, isn't it? Gary Neville was speaking and he said, talking about Xerxes, he said, I actually feel sorry for Joshua Xerxes. He was brought in for big money, but there's a human being in there. He's essentially being cheered off by his own fans. He's not been good, but they've all been poor. You're watching the worst pound-for-pound team in the country. You mentioned when they got subbed, at the time the substitution was happening, they were showing a replay of something, so we couldn't see it. You literally said... I can hear cheering, so I assume it's Xerxes.
Yeah, I knew it. I could tell.
That is a terrible position to be in as a player where you know he's coming off because Old Trafford are essentially cheering him off. Do you feel sorry for him at all? What? Because he's come into this absolute shit show. He's not made it any better, obviously, but it's a little bit unfortunate the position he's found himself in, isn't it?
Oh, obviously, he's got to take responsibility for his own performances, but as we've said, he's just not the level that's required. But then obviously he's got this languid kind of lackadaisical style which doesn't endear yourself to fans anyway. So I think to be like that you've got to be exceptional, and he isn't that either. So when I heard the jeers, I knew it would be him because he's the last type of player that fans would like, just because of his like the laziness about him.
Yeah.
And you can only be like that, sorry, at this level if you're actually just banging goals in every week, or you're literally a game changer on the other end, and he's not that.
But that's not his fault though, is it? And I imagine he'll have realised that when he was signed for Man United in the summer, that people know what sort of style of football he plays, and when it comes to United, it's going to be more similar sort of thing to that. Yes, he's not good enough, but he was signed for a previous manager. My question is, if the fans are jeering after 30 minutes, Joe, right? And I when I go to Old Trafford and his name's on the team sheet, a lot of people around me are like, why is he starting, right? So all the fans and all the critics say Xerxes is not good enough. Why is he starting today? Is that down to?
Well, it's down to these are the repercussions of the Rashford situation, aren't they? And this is the thing where, again, it goes back to that thing of, in theory, everyone backs the manager. Everyone says Rashford's not doing it in training, then he shouldn't start. Whatever's going on, if it's off the pitch, if it's extracurricular, if it's in training, whatever it is, we back him. Well, then you back him, not you, people at home and me, because I'm feeling the same things that everyone else is. We have to back him through the fact that we've got one of our most talented players in Marcus Rashford. As much as people don't want to admit it, you think he's got the most goals and assists of anyone for United this season, or certainly he's very high on the list. He's not playing. And we have to back him when the alternatives, like Joshua Zirkzee, are even worse than he is. Yeah. Because Rashford at his best is a far better player than Joshua Zirkzee. But we have to go, we trust what the manager's doing is the right thing for the long term. We have all these things where it's like, yeah, no, he's definitely right to drop him, but then why isn't he playing? Well, we can't have it both ways. So unfortunately, we're in a position where one of our most talented players in Marcus Rashford can't play or isn't allowed to play anymore because of this off-field stuff. So then the people who are playing, as much as we wish it wasn't the case, aren't as good as he is. So we get worse.
But considering that when he made the substitution for Zirkzee, he brought Mainu on, there was another alternative as opposed to bringing Rashford on. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, we could have started with Mainu there. So what I'm saying,
that's fair enough. What portion of the blame are you putting for that first half performance with the sort of the idea to start Eriksen and Casemiro in that midfield and a Zirkzee that we know everybody's critical of?
Well, he had to start, unless he wanted to play. I suppose he could have started with Garnacho, but again, something happened with him as well, didn't it? A couple of weeks ago, he was dropped as well. Like, he had to start with two of those three.
Because they're big decisions. They've cost
they
that first
two
half.
Of those, but two of those decisions were made for him with the Bruno and Ugarte suspensions. So he had to play at least one of Zirkzee, of Casemiro and Eriksen. Probably had to play two, really, because otherwise you can start Garnacho or Anthony maybe. But if Mainu's the only one who's played regularly to come in, so two, the squad isn't that good. And yeah, maybe Garnacho could play there, but he's been poor, hasn't he, recent weeks? Like, he gets the ball and he loses it, and I don't know. These are the things you find, like, everything looks wrong. Yeah. Like, there's no credit to be given to anyone. So every decision looks terrible, every touch is bad, all the players are shit, the manager's shit. You know, everything just feels completely useless at the moment because of what we're seeing. But surely we're not this bad. Are we just this bad? Are we the 15th, 16th worst team in the league or best team in the league? Is it that simple?
Answer the question, Ronaldo. Are we that bad?
If we're talking underlying metrics, we have been the 13th, 14th worst team for over a year now, haven't we? When it comes to like XG4 against and other things. I honestly don't. I'm a person that likes to think they have the answers, as people know, but I don't have the answers. I think I don't have the answers because I think there's too many.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I just think we've been really poor. I think the team selection was wrong.
Yeah.
Ugarte being injured and Bruno not being available has hurt us, because them two, for occasional faults that they might have in other aspects of the game, what they do have, the pair of them, is legs, and I think you need that against Newcastle. But damn, I don't even know what to say. It's 2-0. Can United perform any worse in the second half? No. If we get a goal early, maybe we can be still in the game. But the the quicker I forget about that first half performance, the better.
Yeah, we've got loads of super chats. Danny Wild says Ratcliffe saying that Bournemouth, Fulham, etc. charging more for tickets than Man United. He said that why is that the case? This is why: no value for money, no running off the ball, no passion, utter shite.
There's other things as well. Is it Fulham and Bournemouth? Right, he said they don't have as many seats in the stadium. Doesn't that add to it?
I mean, loads of stuff goes into it. Fulham's one of the most affluent areas in
it's an affluent area in
the country,
and they don't have 75,000 seats. So obviously, the seats are probably a bit more valuable,
more premium.
Yeah, I mean, they also don't have as many fans to sort of take the piss out of either, do they? Which obviously seems to be Ratcliffe's MO at the minute. Callum99 says it's not the manager's fault; it's definitely the players. However, from a bigger perspective, this isn't a big club formation or the Manchester United way. Discuss. I don't even know. In terms of formation, what is the Man United way at this point? I don't know.
I was going to say,
there's only a handful of traits that I associate with Man United. The formation isn't necessarily one of them, personally. Traditionally we've had wingers and we've had attackers like that, but let's see what happens. Damien Ahipini, sorry if I've got that wrong, I almost certainly have, says this is so embarrassing. What do we expect with Casemiro, Eriksen and Xerxes in the squad? We have no fight in the team. Truly shocking. Eminem, you think our better players like Mainu, Bruno, Dalot, Garnacho and Martinez will have to leave because they don't suit the system? Probably not, but who knows? It can happen. Players have to leave before. Do you see any of that happening, or do you think we're sort of all getting a bit emotional with the result?
Just literally, I don't know, man. Just liquidate the club at this point.
You reckon?
Let's all watch the darts. Should we watch the darts?
The darts instead, that'd be decent.
Yeah, the darts has been ace. I was watching that last night.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Do you know what I mean? But I didn't realise how good it was. But for me, in the second half of the season, I would want United to be safe enough to a point where in league games we just played the Carrington lads.
And just get everyone else out.
I need to refine my joy for watching United. I don't have it anymore.
Joshua Bowater says at least Newcastle won't be breaking our leading at half-time unbeaten record. Silver linings and all that. Yeah, we can't lose the record if we were never winning. Abhinav Verma says Casemiro playing like he's checked out already. Some of Casemiro's decision-making was ludicrous in that game. Flaws says, why do our players lose form and never regain it? Casemiro, Martinez, Rashford to name just three. Now worried about Mainu and Ahmad. It's hard not to worry about everyone, isn't it? But it's probably not quite as bad as it looks right now. That tends to be the way with football, even though it's hard to look at that and think there's any positives. Not all of these players are completely awful, but we need to, Amorim's job is to work out which ones are and which ones aren't. Josh W, still hearing the United fans singing Amorim's Red and White Army. Got to get behind the manager. Poor selection, but these players aren't up to it. The second half kicks off there. Ethan, resident Newcastle fan in the corner. Sorry we didn't come to you at half time there, but there's a bit of a crisis going on over here.
Oh yeah.
Dream first half for you, that?
Yeah, it was good, Drew. There's obviously we had Isaac have that dinked effort where he should have really scored. Tonali hit the post from close range, but then again I'm grateful Casemiro missed that one late on. Højlund had a big chance, and especially that Casemiro chance. If you put that in second half, you might be going, hey, we're somehow in this now.
Yeah.
We need to just go at them 100 miles an hour at the blocks, but 2-0 at half time, it's tricky. You need an early goal, but it doesn't really feel like you're going to get one unless Newcastle have a few lapses in concentration like we just saw towards the end of the half. But yeah, it's always nice to be winning at Old Trafford, even if they're a 14th place team.
Right, he's had a little dig at the end. I was thinking he's been quite nice here, and he's had a little pop, hasn't he? Daniel Abraham says, I think Casemiro has a bet on a 3-0 Newcastle scoreline. We just can't handle their press at all, can we? Let's see how we get on here.
Yeah, the more it goes on, the more... you did ask me, those he's doing as bad as he was. I think coming off and stuff, I think I wouldn't be the type to be booing him.
No.
I wouldn't be the type to be cheering him coming off.
No.
I think that's a bit distasteful. I don't know.
I know it wasn't booing, but I'm not typically a fan of. I'm not a fan of booing or cheering.
If he's not good enough, that's not his fault. If you're not good enough for United, but someone said, "Do you want to play for United?" I'd still go now at my age. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to turn the opportunity down.
Yeah, and also he probably thinks he is good enough, or certainly has done until he got here.
Who's not going to take the opportunity?
Yeah. Free kick to
Sorry, man.
Newcastle.
Xerxes might be the new 4 guy. There always is one.
That's a good touch. That's not.
See, even that, the pass, that looks bad from Highland.
Yeah.
For me, that's not that good a pass into him. You know, like, you're talking about pass detail. It's just...
Come on. Yeah, Dallow's just got such a hard time. Like, they're just pressing man for man, aren't they? Look everywhere. It's one-on-one everywhere across the pitch. And like you said, Ronaldo, they're just more physical and faster than we are. So if you make it about being one-on-one, they're going to win that.
Casemiro can't pass the ball more than 5 yards without lifting it, you know.
No.
And I think that's, without being like ageist, is that like a hip issue?
Well, you think he can't?
They're
He hasn't
not
got
as
the
well
hip
oiled.
dexterity
Yeah.
to keep the ball on the floor.
Yeah, it's
I
like,
don't know. Ericsson can do it.
My hips dexterity is fine.
Your hips work well, yeah? Fuck you know.
Bit of a better start
Get on
from
the ball.
United. This.
Oh,
Shit pass again. Just a hopeful nothing that in it.
hopeful nothing.
So easy to play out past us as well.
What do you say? We always talk about, like, you know, people go like Joel Smith and Dan Burn, the 2-syllable full names.
Joseph Smith, if you want to get technical.
Okay.
Hang on a sec.
So
Ron Brown. Shit.
it's Ronaldo.
Yeah, but it's Joseph, isn't it? If we want to shorten it down, it's Ron Brown.
Who actually calls you Joseph?
Ron Brown. When I think of who Ron Brown is in my head, they
have to be old.
They couldn't be less. I was just gonna say they couldn't be less than 75 years
Because we
old.
talked about that. Then there's certain
1970s news anchor,
there's
innit?
certain-
Here we go to Ron Brown.
There's certain first names that you feel like you couldn't imagine calling a child.
Yeah.
You can't imagine calling a child like a baby, like Ian
Don't happen.
or Alan.
Can't be allowed to happen.
Baby
Ethan's
Alan.
got a mate called Alan who's only 25.
Baby
well.
Alan.
Allegedly.
Yeah. There's a touch of the car news to him, isn't there? He might be 40.
Thomas Partey. That's why Thomas Partey's injured all the time.
Is that right? I didn't know.
Everyone thinks his real age is like 40.
I'd love to do that. Just pretend I was 24.
What's about Makoko? What his name is?
It's better.
You know,
It's definitely been a better start.
couldn't be any worse.
No, couldn't be any worse. But these 4 minutes have probably been the best 4 minutes we've had. Yeah, we've not conceded. We've kept the ball for most of it.
Score a goal, innit? It would be so good if it's like a game of 2 halves kind of vibe. We score 3 in the
My
second
worry
half.
is if we get one, Newcastle just turn it back on and get another one. But it's easier said than done, scoring goals.
Let's just score now.
Yeah.
And make it interesting.
Under Jose, we were 2-0 up at Old Trafford and just won.
Oh,
2.
shit.
That's Sanchez. I was at that game.
Yeah, Sanchez.
That was boxing. Was that Christmas time?
Are you capable of that capitulation?
A
Have you got-
Sanchez
have you got
header
all
as
that?
well, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
We're capable of it, but you don't look very capable of it right now.
No. Can we score 3? That's the question. Can we score 1? Let's start with that. Let's start with 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, decent little set piece. It'd be nice. That's not bad.
Go on.
That's a good.
You should have been that first time.
Oh no.
It's definitely a better start from United, though. It's not been great by any means, but it's been less calamitous.
Yes. I was like when he dinged that.
Come on, Ericsson.
No, it's
That was
Nice.
good.
Go on. Go on. That's not bad.
Wasn't good either.
Just play the overlap. Just.
Do you know when
Just
you got to
do
be
the
play
thing.
simple in it, man? It's Trivella and the cross.
That's
I don't
it.
know, man. Like that's not your game, man. That's not your game.
And even if it was his game, this isn't the game for that to be
Yeah,
your
yeah.
game. Like, look, we actually look something positive is happening here. When we get into a
More
decent area,
intensity.
don't do your wacky thing that you've never done before.
Especially when you've not had a great passing
I
percentage
know.
all game.
Casemiro's barely made a pass all game, and then he's trying to flick it around the corner with the outside of his right foot.
That's shy.
Yeah, that's too straight, man.
Loads of super chats. Buzz Mjolnir says, what we're witnessing on the pitch is the manifestation of 18 years of the Glazers' sporting culture. Wayne List says, never trust a Jim when he says he'll fix it for you. Very good.
That's brilliant.
Really good. Really good.
Really good.
Shit. Well done, Martinez.
Good cover.
Nicely weighted back pass as well. Daniel Brawner, there must be lead in the water at Counting. I honestly think something's going on. There's some sort of poison seeping into these players. I said it the other week, but I reckon there's something happening. Tegan Lamont, which is a fantastic name, says, I love Leacher, but what's happened to him? Looks like an inconfidence defensively, unlike him to get caught in between twice. Can it get worse? He has definitely lost a lot of confidence.
I don't think he likes playing that back three.
Yeah.
So do you?
Don't know. He doesn't play like he likes it now. Jonathan Hanley said, I'd love to see Ahmad at the wing back, Mazraoui to left wing back, and Rashford in the 10 on for Dallo. I don't think that'd be a bad idea, especially if we're going to need a goal, aren't we? If we can keep it at 2-0 or maybe get one back, and we're trying to get a point, I can see that happening toward the end of the game. But I don't know. I still worry about Newcastle. Ruben should resign if there's no January signings, according to Clark Kent. How if you're Ruben Amorim, Ronaldo, how hard are you pushing to get a left wing back, maybe a bit more of a veteran striker?
Of course he'd love that, but it's whether we've got the capabilities of doing that. We must be doing all this cost cutting for a reason.
Yeah.
Can we afford going out and back? Because January's a difficult window to shop in, man.
Yeah.
Because what we're currently seeing is a summer window job.
Yeah, it is.
Fee.
Oh.
Yes.
Well played.
And again.
See, even that. You see, that's
slightly behind.
It's his completed pass.
Yeah.
It kills momentum because it's behind.
Well done. Keep the ball.
Gone. Oh shit. At least we got life. Yeah.
Rolled over it.
Casemiro's playing like he's won a competition to play at United for a day, innit?
Soccer aid vibes. He looked like he stood on the he did the but he stood on the he stood on a balloon.
Yeah, it was.
That's first touch.
Yeah.
Kind of just floats
Soccer
away.
aid vibes.
That's harsh. Yeah.
It is harsh.
No disrespect. It's for a good cause and all that. You know what I mean?
It's not. I don't think it's soccer aid you're disrespected. I think it's the bloke being paid $300,000 a week to be one of United's best players.
But he's out there looking like Usain Bolt up front for the rest of the world.
Okay. I take Usain Bolt in this 11.
Yeah. This is athletic.
Remember when he quit? When he resigned from his legs and just thought he just become a professional
footballer. Is it Australia he went playing? And
He trained for Dortmund a couple of times and never got anywhere near, but he went training for him.
But he was like, is that status where no club was going to be like, no, they just thought to let him train. They obviously know at that level of football that he's never going to play, but I think he genuinely believed he could.
Yeah, I think he thought he could as well.
I think he's become a professional tennis player, hasn't he, Diego Forlan?
Yeah.
I don't think he's very good.
It's easier to be professional in tennis. You can just declare yourself a professional.
But then where are you ranked?
Yeah.
10,000th.
Yeah.
You can just become a professional boxer or a professional...
right, yeah.
I mean, you have to get a license and stuff, but look at the YouTube. There's loads of YouTubers who are professional boxers now.
But just because they've got the license.
Just because you do it and you get a license.
It's just an interesting...
It's like golf is the same. A lot of the individual sports, you could just be a professional. Doesn't mean you... to be a professional footballer is a lot harder because a team have to say, yeah, you play for us.
Right.
Whereas if, you
need to be signed by somebody to do it.
Yeah. I think Trippier looks like he's hurt himself here. We've got loads more super chats. Adam T99 says Anfield in a week. That'll be interesting. I don't know if interesting is the word, but I can't... As it stands, I don't see a world where they don't get at least 3 or 4 Liverpool. The way they're attacking and the way we're defending. And not even just defending, but just like... us, we're just statues.
Okay. For one, I think we could probably keep the score down below 2 or so.
Right.
I think the bigger issue is I don't see how we hurt Liverpool, because I think we go against Liverpool and we're definitely playing like 2 full-backs at wing-back. I feel like we're not going to have the ability to hurt them on the break.
No, we've struggled to hurt.
And they've got defensive.
We can't hurt Wolves or Bournemouth, let alone Liverpool.
And they've got defensive injuries.
Come on.
Go on.
Find a pass.
Go on. See, it's behind.
Them again.
Always behind the passes.
T-Cash, I get you're all emotional, but is no one going to mention the handball goal Newcastle have scored? They put the thing up and said if it hits above your
bicep line legally, it's not. You see it?
Yeah, but so were they saying it wasn't a handball?
They said it wasn't handball. The reason why it wasn't given is because it hit the shoulder.
Oh.
Okay. Well done, Corby.
Mainu's been our best player today. He's
Yeah,
only
he
been
has.
on the pitch for half an hour.
Yeah, he has. He's been
You
all
know.
right.
Casemiro's patented 2-foot lunge came in as well. Playing with much better intensity. See what difference that makes?
Yeah.
Our intensity picks up, Newcastle drops stairs, and all of a sudden
Why
it's a
can't they
game.
get that from the beginning?
Here we go. Livermento coming on for Trippier. Ipswich currently 2-0 up against Chelsea, by the way.
Yeah, I've heard the stats are like, it's like proper smash and grab stuff as well, which is brilliant.
Ipswich have had 21% possession. To be fair, though, they've had 8 shots, 5 on target.
Also, they've attacked really effectively.
They've attacked effectively. Chelsea have had 14 shots, 5 on target, the same as Ipswich. But it's that possession. 79%.
I think
for
Ipswich
Chelsea.
win that, but it's going to be like... The issue with Chelsea is with Jackson up front, they don't have a low score against a low block striker.
Yeah, he's
That's
good-
when you
he's
need.
great
That's
at
when
playing in
you.
behind.
That's when you need like those like Osimhen,
Yeah.
Haaland, even like a Havertz types, where
Yeah.
they're just kind of big and they're kind of good in the box. But see, we've gone straight row with a lot. Desperation. Gone Menu. I think stuff like that. I feel like goes in for everyone else.
Yeah.
Feels like something's cooking.
Yeah.
It's definitely been. These 15 minutes
It's
have
on the
been
slow cooker. innit?
Nice,
way better.
nice.
lay off.
I feel like
Quicker.
goals
How's
coming.
Maguire playing left wing? Maguire in the 10.
Good pass. It was for a minute, wasn't he? He's back in there now. Look. Go on, Dallo.
Go on.
Nice.
Get it on.
Go on. Maguire.
Oh, you fucking fuck.
Oh my
He's a bit inside
fucking.
the post there, Maguire.
No.
There we
oh,
go.
no.
We found our number 10.
Can I play much better second half?
Yeah,
much
way
better.
better. Way better.
Amorim's a genius. Who saw that move?
Shame he wasn't managing us in the first half. We might be winning.
It was Ten Hag probably.
Yeah, Ten Hag was. Well, it was Chris Amas with that earpiece.
Oh, him. Oh, that.
Do you remember him?
The
Under
AirPods.
Van Gaal. Yeah, but it wasn't even an AirPod. It had a cable.
Oh yeah, the
was-
wired
yeah,
wired
yeah, yeah.
earphones.
Proper early 2000s
Oh.
style.
Yeah.
I'm mad there. Just pushing his luck a bit, but he did well. Go on then. Good run.
Oh.
Unlucky. That's a good effort. Well done,
Oh,
Ahmad.
that's a late one.
Ethan, is this United back into the game? Have you sat back or what's the...
Well, it definitely would have been you back in the game if Maguire put that in. Yeah, Newcastle haven't looked good the first 15 minutes or so here. I'm a little bit nervy at the minute, I must admit. One goal can change it all.
Yeah. It's a shame that. We've hit, what is it? Twice? We've hit the post twice? No, they've hit the post once.
Casemiro literally stood on the line for
Oh, he
that
took it
shot
right
there.
then.
I don't want the sucker punch. That's
No,
why I
I
don't
can
want
see it coming.
deflation.
Like the Wolves game all over again. Thing is though, in these sorts of situations, we've got a bit more possession, we're making more chances, we're looking a lot better. We have to score.
Yeah.
Because otherwise,
Yeah.
like you said, the sucker punch will arrive
Futile,
eventually. Yeah, what's, oh, that's lame.
Yes.
You got lucky there, Dallo.
Oh, come on. Yeah, they're not going to get a chance, are
No. And also, it doesn't matter, all of this is for nothing if we don't get something out of it, so.
they? There we go.
Oh, that's class. Hold up. Jeez.
That's what we need. There's the Martinez a miss.
Puppy Parade says part of Ruben's genius was supposed to be clear football philosophy while tactically flexible, but now we're married to this back three that doesn't work.
Where did they get the tactically...
I think he has played he hasn't always played three at the back every game for Sporting. He did change things when there was injuries and stuff like that. I suppose the difference would be there's a difference between having options when you have injuries or things change and never instilling your philosophies in the first place. You have to start with this. and
Yeah,
then
you
look
have to
at-
have a foundation philosophy before you can start tweaking it. If he starts tweaking it 5 games in,
Yeah, that would be my guess.
you're saying there's flaws in your design.
Yeah, and also he's barely. I think if you spoke to Ruben Amorim and said, have you had enough time to get this 3 at the back across to your players yet? He'd say absolutely not. So we're still learning this. Let's not abandon it. It's not like we get it 100% and the players can't do it. Some of these players can't do it, but they're still learning it. Like, it's not 100% drilled into them anyway. We're still learning who can do it and who can't. So I would stick with it personally. And these spells from Newcastle. Like, here's the other thing. When they have a little bit of the ball like they are now, Newcastle, we can't let them score again. Because it's all well and good looking good for 10 minutes. But if every time they look remotely dangerous... Because, look, they're carving through us again, really. That's what they do. They make runs off the ball and they find them. I say this so often.
That foul's in the final third against these, man. It's not... Oh, it's just low IQ football, man. Jeez.
Didn't need to happen either. Garnacho and Euro coming on. For United, obviously.
And Martinez and Eriksen?
I would guess so, yeah.
It's mad, though. Since he's been dropped, the leaks stopped.
Who, Rashford?
No.
Garnacho. Do you know what? I reckon...
His brother... no.
I can't see it. Do you think it is?
It's a bit coincidental.
Hmm.
Ever since he got dropped. And I don't think it was... Obviously, I never thought it was Garnacho directly. I thought it was his entourage and his brother.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well done. Get out there.
He's not come on though in the cameos or the Garnacho's come on.
And
It's not really.
usually his specialty.
It's not been his best few weeks, has it, Garnacho? Casemiro off.
Well, probably, yeah.
You know, look, they're cheering that as well. Oh,
Yeah, I think they just... Well, yeah. I can't tell if they were cheering or just clapping him like you would with a normal sub, but it's not been a good day for Casemiro, was it? Martinez off as well for Euro.
use left centre back.
I would guess Delict, but we'll see. It looks like Euro's coming in left centre back. I think he used to play left centre back for Lille at times.
A little bit.
A little bit of that. Go on then.
Just never felt like he was getting there. Often, but that's
It's so speculative that it's just a...
Yeah, Gordon's got pace.
Well done.
Well done,
Mazraoui. I thought he burned him
Gordon's
there.
rapid.
Yeah, he is.
You know, someone injured.
Paul there from ASAP.
Defensive subs.
What's this?
The amount we've made the most defensive subs on and off, which is obviously not common because you don't really sub defenders off that much.
To be fair, though, we've got about 15 of them on the pitch at any one time. So
continuity and that's it's important.
Come on,
It's killing it now. This isn't even their game as well.
no.
They're just helter scout, not really possession based.
What?
Well done.
I don't think Gordon was.
I don't even know what was going on there.
Oh, it was
No,
Hall.
didn't either.
See,
Racist. Unbelievable. He's done it. He's finally succumbed to it.
Okay, no.
They are similar, aren't they, from a distance?
You said it, not me.
No, you just did.
I think it's the hair.
Yeah.
That's it, shit.
When you see them up close, they couldn't look any more different, but similar body type. We said it. We know why they look the same. There's no one on like there. But Dallo there, the pass he has to make to get out of trouble there is so difficult.
Oh, Isaac.
Like, he's in such a shit... Look, Dallo's telling him, come closer there. He's in a shit position there. I do feel like we've reverted back to like last season.
See, this is what I think against Trippier. I think Garnacho could do. But against Livramento, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, it's a tough one, that.
You get beat 1v1 much, Livermental. It's Ethan.
Well, he's quite quick and he can recover well, so he's very solid defensively. Livermental, better than Trippier, like you said before.
Yeah.
So don't get beat very often.
Not at all.
Sure, of course. Never been beaten. Andy Mitten said that Rashford's been warming up longer than anyone else. I think he's just sort of like showing the manager he's there, or wants a little bit of a run out, or what.
Oh
it's a great
my
pass, that.
God.
Jesus Christ. No.
Oh, it's just squared it there.
Did you see the way Lewis Hall told De Ligt to get off just then?
Yeah.
That's a concern. Something like
There you go.
He's literally just like, there's like
Just
a little
in front-
brush off,
just
like
in
it was
front
like,
of him, though.
yeah, he like shrugged. It looked like he
pacing
shrugged
again.
him off. I was like, what the hell? It's Gordon, that, isn't it?
Yeah, just looking at the difference between pre and post Mainoo's sub, United have had more possession, more shots, more touches in the opposition box.
Being better.
Just been better, yeah. Certainly better than we were, but arguably the better team as well since he came on, Mainoo. But again, I don't think it is just as simple as Mainoo's made all that difference. I think, unfortunately, Newcastle are taking it a little bit easy. I think they've
Combination,
changed their game
yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
It's not one or the other, but I do think both are playing into it. And that's not to downplay Mainoo, he's played well as well, but I'm seeing a different Newcastle to what we saw in those first few minutes.
they could have stepped down a gear, but we
Yeah.
could still have been shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We've definitely got better since Mainoo came on.
I think Newcastle are slowly wrestling control back though.
Yeah, they are.
I feel like
we had to do 15
should have
minutes.
scored in that spell, innit?
Yeah. How's every little bobble. Jesus. He's a little bit like gangly, Isak, and so you think you can underestimate his dribbling, but he's very good on the ball.
Oh, man. Did you not see his assist against Everton?
What, last season?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
That was like some of the best dribbling
Yeah,
I've
I know.
ever seen.
But I mean, just his body type, you wouldn't necessarily think he's like
Just
that.
wiry, innit?
Yeah.
Bit awkward, isn't it?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Newcastle have just stepped it up again last couple of minutes. Come on then, win that. No. Just again, it's only a small thing, but there's 3 50-50 challenges in about 2 seconds there, and United lose all 3 of them. Like Eriksen and Garnacho, there's like going in for it, and Newcastle win every single one. That's just not good. Yeah, Newcastle just passing it around, taking the piss a little bit now. Just slowing the game down, keeping the ball. It's easy, isn't it?
Hate this Ole football, innit?
I know.
This is where you need a Ugarte 2-footed lunge.
Yeah. Look how long he's had the ball. He's had the ball like 5 or 6 seconds there, Bruno Guimaraes. And just no one's near him. How many passes do you think Newcastle have made in a row here, Ronaldo? Oh shit, though.
Here we go.
As soon
Come
as
on now.
As soon as you went to Dubravka, I was like, yeah. Go on.
That's not going out.
Not
that.
going out, is it?
Win that.
It's going to be held. Oh, I thought.
Oh, wow.
I thought.
Don't know why. I'm surprised no one was over there. Come on.
Guys.
See there,
It's
that
still
for
2-0.
yeah, and for all that possession that Newcastle had there, Dubravka gave the ball away to us 40 yards out from his goal, and United looked dangerous. Like, it can turn so quickly.
And that's without us putting them under pressure.
Yeah, it's just a bad pass from Dubravka. It was not great playing out from the back. That's a good ball. Keep it then.
I was a bit lucky.
Yeah, it
Well,
was. Hold on. Get in the box now.
He's getting crowded out a lot, isn't he?
Yeah. It's alright. It was better that.
Just need to create
I'll
something
say
now,
that.
don't
Yeah.
it? Not really.
We just don't know.
So I
do
can't
we?
remember any gilt-edged chances apart from Maguire and maybe who else.
Casemiro had that good one.
Hoyland
First half. What was the Hoyland
No, I
one
mean,
again?
sort of dragged it
Oh,
wide
yeah.
past the far post.
Yeah. On his left foot when he like
Yeah.
chipped it toward the back post, kind of. Not chip, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
One man in the box for United there.
Out wide.
When you watch Liverpool, how many men do they get in the box? They'll have
Yeah,
like 5 or 6 men
The
getting in the box.
applications so much, but
Corner ball. Come on, United. We're great at corners.
Lots of goals happen from
Yeah.
set pieces in Man United games.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Let's hope we
That's
can
what-
be on the receiving
one
end
way
of one
of
of those
putting it,
goals.
innit?
Wonder what the odds are on us scoring direct from a corner.
It's probably 0% like they are with
And
everyone.
the thing is, we've got a bit of size in there, but it's just about.
We've actually not looked bad from set pieces today, to be fair, so far.
Go on, Wire.
You're out.
Oh, fuck.
Ooh. One goal off. We could be back in this, you know.
Yeah. The thing is,
Big
but,
if.
my worry is, looking at it from the other perspective, is
Oh, he's
we've
got-
missed all these decent chances.
Yeah.
We've had 4 decent chances in this game. None of them amazing, but
Oh,
all
it's
decent,
close.
and missed them all.
Yeah.
That like one of them's got to go in, hasn't it?
That Casemiro one, that was gilt edge, that
Yeah,
wasn't
the Casemiro one, the Hoyland one, the Maguire
Maguire.
one, that one.
Yeah.
If none of them go in, what how can you win a game? How can you even? If it was 0-0, we couldn't win. Go on, bring
it? I don't
Rashford
think
on.
Rashford is coming on.
I don't think Amorim wants to bring him on.
No.
He said it was offside, no? Yeah, I was going to say.
I just think it's how it looks on a
Yeah.
wider
Because also
context.
you can't drop him again after that if he
No.
does. I mean he can, but it looks a bit desperate, doesn't it, if he does? If we got Garnacho, come on. He looks like he's lost a bit of confidence, doesn't he, Garnacho? Or more.
I think he looked. Maybe does he know about? He looked up. He had a chance to go the line, but I don't know if he's beaten.
Livramento.
Because the issue with Liverpool,
Obviously, as he said, he's not just rapid, he's also quite. He's strong. He's bigger and stronger than him, innit?
Yeah.
Jason Wilcox, you know.
I feel like this game's just gonna
drift now.
peter away. Another loss to 0 for Man United is my prediction at this point. Well, we do actually create half decent chances, even in games where we're terrible. We make chances. We just miss them, and we've missed them all season, haven't we?
He's at 9th offside in a row.
Yeah.
How much do you think a difference Ugarte and Fernandes would have made? I think defensively, for having the energy around the park, that would have been a big thing. But still, with the chance creation, that problem's been there with them on the pitch.
Yeah. I think we would have been better with them two playing, definitely. I think we do make better chances. Again though, you can't finish him himself, Bruno. Not that he's making tons and tons of chances for everyone all season, but like we've made 4 half chances today. Most teams would put 1 or 2 of those away. We put none, and it's not just today. It's been the story all season. We put in, 1 less than everyone else would most weeks. Yeah. Like we're underachieving on our XG, we're underachieving on everything in terms of scoring goals. It's easy to see that. So we probably would have been more defensively solid, and they wouldn't have been able to build up that like crazy momentum they had after like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But putting the ball in the back of the net's been a problem regardless of who plays, isn't it? We just can't score.
So where's that fixed then? So obviously if we're looking at either a January or as we think it might be a summer move, is that a creative player that we're buying, or is...
I don't know if in January, but in the summer I think we need a striker that's like, let's
there he
go
is.
on.
Yeah.
See that? Again, that's one of them. If that's the other way,
Yeah, it doesn't
20
get
minutes
given.
into the game, there's no way they give that free kick. There's no way he gives that. If that's fucking Isaac on a Dawdlin Maguire in the first half, you don't get given that. That's not a foul. It's not a foul. We need a striker who can score goals, and we need 2 number 10s who can create chances consistently. And our wing backs haven't made a chance for our strikers all season. Like, the wing backs don't do anything going forward.
Yeah, but you're looking like 500 mil there, though. So
yeah, well, exactly. But that's where we are. We probably are 400-500 mil away from being decent.
That's a low bid, isn't it?
yeah.
Like our wing backs, top teams' wing backs will get you 6 goals, 8-9 assists a season. That's like a proper wing back will get you between 10 and 20 goals and assists a season. None of our fullbacks have ever done that in their life. That's why we score more goals when Ahmad's there or Anthony's there, because at least they've got some idea of what to do going forward. Villa and Brighton are 2-2. But the wing backs not creating anything is such a problem for this system.
Can we get a scorer, yeah?
Lamptey.
Feeling the goals, isn't he?
Because it's difficult to really feel out what level Hoyland's at
Yeah.
as a striker.
Well, I would keep him, definitely. And I think bringing someone alongside him who can score goals now as well. Like, look at Julian Alvarez at Man City. I use him as an example all the time because Hoyland should be our Alvarez. Not that they're the same type of player at all.
No, but he should be an understudy.
Yeah, playing 30 games a season off the bench. I
Yeah.
think Alvarez played... The season Haaland broke the record for most Premier League goals, Alvarez played 40 games that season. Like, that's what Hoyland should be doing to a Kane or maybe a
come on.
Gyökeres or whatever.
See, that starts with... Like, it's just not a good pass by the lit.
But we should have someone who can score you 25 goals a season, and we need better number 10s.
Fucking hell.
And we need better fullbacks, better wing backs.
Better.
Better everywhere, please.
It felt for like 10 minutes in the second half that there was something afoot.
Well, we made those 2 chances, didn't we? We just missed them both. Yoro had the header and Maguire had his header. Both didn't go in. So, you can't, Anthony's going to come on by the looks of things. So
Going to save the day.
Rashford not coming on. We all said he wouldn't, would we?
Probably
Unless
not.
Amorim was desperate. Because he doesn't feel like a phoenix rising from the ashes kind of, go on lad, show us what you've got. It's like he's checked out, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's said as much. Not that he's checked out, but he wants to leave.
Yeah.
Like, I don't it should be he drops him and Rashford comes on to prove himself. I don't feel like Rashford's that bothered about proving himself, really.
No, what was the quote from Amorim before the game that we had to make up numbers or something?
He was there, so
Yeah.
it was. I'll read it to you. It was selection, and we have a lot of players outside, so he's in.
It was
like I said, every week I
it
choose my
was-
players. He was there to be chosen, and this time he's here.
It was him or me,
Yeah, exactly.
player manager. That's probably never happened in the Prem.
Didn't it happen? Didn't Brian Robson do that?
Go on.
From Middlesbrough. Was that in the Prem?
What was it? Player manager?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was
Because when he was announced, he had his top half was a suit and shirt and tie, and his
Oh,
bottom
right.
half was shorts, football socks, and boots. You must have seen that picture before.
Ah,
You
the
think I'm messing?
90s.
Look at this.
Go on, show.
He's got his foot on the ball.
Ah,
That's great, isn't it?
that's good. That's good crack.
That's if you need a visual reminder of what a player manager is. That's it. Go on.
Another lacklustre.
It
Performance,
doesn't
innit,
sound like
from
you rate
Emerson?
Garnacho very much, Ethan.
Ah, crap.
Great.
You do get to watch him every game, pretty much. He actually gets to know United really well, doesn't he, Ethan?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, he barely misses a United game in terms of just watching it. You probably see more United games in a season than Newcastle, don't you?
That's true.
Yeah.
I know Man United like the back of a hand.
Brilliant. Stop. Dallo. Oh, that's a
Not a bad
lovely
idea.
Oh, well
clip,
played.
That.
Oh,
That was a
Defending.
brilliant pass from Mainu, that. Rasmus, everything's been fucking blocked.
Oh, fuck's sake. And it's just like 1 in
Yeah.
offside.
100.
Who was even offside there? So many things happened.
One of them.
Probably just bored.
Great header that by Mazraoui as well.
Oh, there.
Mazraoui's off.
How switched on do you have to be to like notice something like that when it's just like a innocuous ricochet like that?
Just got it all cycling, haven't you? Who's come off here? Do we think Anthony's come on for Delict? Wow, going for it. 4 at the back.
Light for light.
Switch to 4 at the back, I think, for the last 10 minutes.
Probably won't. It'll just be. What would it be now? Would it just be Maz to?
Oh, Ahmad's
Centre
gone
half.
back to the
Yeah.
wing back area. No, he's not.
Yeah,
Anthony's wing back. And Mazraoui's gone. Sorry, Maz, not Ahmad. Yeah, you were right. Sorry. Go on, Anthony. What a pass. Terrible.
Asking a lot there.
Who was that?
Asking a lot of the pitch there to be that big. We've got a few more super chats as well. Cayman Cider says, close the stream, shut the stream down. Apologies to anyone who watched that from my family or friends, staff members here at Stretford Paddock. Apologies to you too. You got me. I read the word Cayman. I thought I like those little snappy fellas, and then I like cider as well, obviously. And I've been done. They say, remember during the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era when we were just vibes, to go back to those days now. I'd love some vibes now, wouldn't you? I would love some vibes. Ah, dear.
Yeah. Good vibes though, isn't it? Not
It was
bad
good vibes.
Not soccer aid vibes.
Yeah. Ian Warren says, I know how to fix it. Sack some admin staff. That's a good idea. I think Jim Ratcliffe will probably try that in the morning. Michael Jones says, does the manager's failure to communicate any type of plan not worry you? It's only a change in formation and we've been worse. I don't think it's just a change in formation. I see different things. I do see different things. At the minute it's been shit and it's not worked or it's not beating the opposition. But I don't think it's just a formation change and nothing else. George Hall says Ipswich winning is a terrible result for us. Oh God!
Where are we in the league now?
God!
Where are we in the league?
That's actually
We've just-
mad.
Lower than you can possibly believe. I think we're still 14th because Everton were 5 points behind us with the game in hand. We're 7 points from the drop as it stands.
With Liverpool next.
With Liverpool next, yeah. And then is it Palace after that in the league? And we've got Arsenal, haven't we? Southampton. That's a 6-pointer.
Penalty.
He dived then.
So
Yeah, fair. Rune says no chance that Gore,
Proper
Collier,
try
etc. aren't better options.
Megs.
That's funny.
Come on.
Who they brought on? Almiron's dyed his hair as well, or is that no? That's a sea of fell victims to the same thing. Fuck's sake!
He's doing it again. Go on, Garnacho, run.
Who's that? Harvey Barnes.
Whoa. Looked good from the start.
Yeah.
Go on.
It's not a good pass. Or
Go
a good touch.
Go on.
Got
Nah,
a bit lucky there,
It wasn't a
Dubravka.
bad touch in the circumstances.
No, it ended up being alright, but
yeah.
it was a bit heavy, wasn't it? Come on, bit of movement.
You know, man, we got cocked tease for a little bit, didn't we?
Wanting to think we might get a goal.
Yeah.
We're not really capable of that.
Still one of them. Get a goal. Stoppage time equaliser.
It's not impossible.
Jesus Christ.
So we can't really make like 5-yard passes accurately. Everything's like a foot behind where it should be, or people having to stop their runs to check back and get the ball, and like just look like an amateur team at times. Surprised he gave that.
Come on.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be. SSAM says, we haven't lost by 3+ goals at home in the Premier League since 1962. Is that in 3 games in a row?
Yeah.
Liverpool next, fellas. Fasten your seatbelts. Relegation inbound. There you go.
No, I think we'll be at the drop. I believe.
Oh, that's so shit. Look, I mean, the communication between Dubravka and I think it was Byrne there has made that look a lot better than it was, that free kick. That was poor. Oh, he's unlucky there, Maino. Not to get thrown in.
Yeah.
Go on then. Don't just boot it.
Can we break them down? He's going to do the scoop shot.
It's embarrassing how many teams end games against Man United by just sort of easily defending what we've got of a comeback.
And the guys just pushed someone off the ball.
It's not much, is it?
Bit soft, that.
Fucking hell.
Can fans getting off?
Might as well stay, really.
Yeah.
We'll play for another
You never
40
know.
minutes here. We know we're going to score. We will.
That's true.
Get Luke later on.
Yeah.
Get Luke Littler.
It's mad, like how he's kind of like, obviously that's popular-ish, but he's made it more popular.
Yeah, massively.
Caitlin Clark effect.
Man United have failed to win any of their last 4 Premier League games without Bruno Fernandes in the starting 11. 1 draw, 3 losses. Since beating Spurs at Old Trafford 3-2 in March 2022. Shows how few games he's missed.
Yes.
It's only 3 games since March 2022, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Iron Man.
But we also haven't scored in any of our last 3 games without him playing either. But you're also talking about a period of time there where we've not scored that many goals when he has been playing.
Problem is,
But we
man,
definitely
he's
do miss him.
31 next year, isn't he?
Yeah, we definitely miss him. And he gets a lot of stick and a lot of people don't like him. And he might not be perfect for this system going forward to win league titles, whatever. He's still one of our best players. In this current squad,
Oh,
he
yeah.
definitely is. He definitely is.
Some run he's on.
3 minutes.
I tell you what, Ethan, Newsat's going to make you a lot of money.
He'll never leave, so you can't.
So,
Who'd buy him, do you think? I'm not saying who'd have him, obviously everyone would, but who could buy
the
him?
rumours
City?
are in deep in ITKs. Arsenal are weighing up a summer bid for him.
Arsenal. They could do with him.
And an issue that Ethan's got is it is a step up.
Yeah.
Champions League football.
But Newcastle play better football than Arsenal. Christ.
Not
Terrible
getting
to
that.
watch them, aren't they?
Yeah. But it's what if he's that comes out and says he wants to go, then that's it. You're taking the 60 million or whatever, the 80 million or whatever it is.
I think they'd probably get 100. When you think what Havertz cost, won't he like 65 million?
Yeah.
Swap deal for Rashford. Who says no?
Newcastle, Isaac, Rashford. I'd take it.
Yeah.
Do you want Anthony for free? Kind of thing.
You can have that in as well.
Might. To be fair, is he better than Jacob Murphy?
No.
Right.
Would you take any United player at the moment, Ethan,
Yeah. It'd be a great time to buy.
to improve that, to improve your team? Is there a player that you'd want?
I think Onana's better than Vlachodimios as the third choice goalkeeper.
Turn your mic Turn your mic and camera off, please, permanently.
That's the end of him.
Newcastle finished with United once in like the last 50 years.
Would
and
you
he's
take-
acting like
would
our
you take
whole
Rashford even?
team's worse than their whole team?
Nah.
No. He's
Stop.
ruined your wage structure. His attitude isn't what... These lads have a great attitude, let me tell you that. And he doesn't fit the bill.
I don't know. Every time you say a positive about Jacob Murphy, it starts off with he's a good lad. And that is usually what people say when they're not that good of a player.
Praise.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a good lad.
Just a good lad.
Yeah. He tries hard.
Yeah.
He's too smug over there.
Miss Tased says that wing-backs need to score goals under Amorim. I mentioned that before, didn't I? We offer no real attacking threat at all from the wing-back area.
We haven't
unless
got
it's
wing-backs,
when
have
Ahmad's
we?
playing there. No.
Joe, we've got backs.
Yeah, we have. And
there's no...
well done, Rasmus. Good running. Keep it now.
That wasn't
City
very
got
good.
Nacho when it's
Wasn't
there.
very good support though. I don't know.
End the game now. Get it over with.
We're just pathetic, aren't we? We're just nowhere near anything. Good tackle. There you go, full time. 2-0. A pathetic, toothless performance from Manchester United. Slightly better in the second half, but never looked like scoring, let alone getting back into the game. Ronaldo, thoughts on that?
I thought the second half was much better. There was 15 minutes or so where he looked a little bit more spirited, and the performance was a little bit more energy. I thought we were more competitive when Mainu came on, but I think it was a lot of huffing and puffing. No, I think if the Maguire goal went in, we could have tried to salvage something. I think it was a combination of us being better than how awful we were, and Newcastle being a little bit more, dropping off a little bit, and being a little bit more complacent, having been 2-0 up. But in the end, it does seem like a little bit of a dampening performance, to be fair. In the end, it just looks like we've got a long way to go, because I think almost in the second half having a bit of a spell where we were better, more competitive, but still not really looking like we was going to score.
Yeah.
It almost adds insult to the injury anyway. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I for me, I feel like I've run out of concerns for this club when it comes to the performances and the things we're seeing. It's just, I think all we've got left really is hope.
Yeah. Nathan says, get it liquidated, sell the stadium for student flats and a Tesco Express immediately. Any advance on that, Sky?
Superstore.
Superstore, no. No, it was. I mean, it was an abysmal first half, and pretty much what we all expected. It improved slightly in the second half, but we're passive across the park, toothless in front of goal. There was a few half chances. I think Casemiro scores that one towards the end of the first half. Then, sorry, my daughter's calling me. Yeah, crap.
No, yeah, just crap, wasn't it? Come back for the post-match review. We'll go through what's gone on there. Just how United can find themselves in such a horrendous position. Just looking at the Premier League table, I believe we're still in 14th. We can't have moved. Now only 7 points out of the bottom 3 after Ipswich's win today against Chelsea. Just a disastrous day and a disastrous run of form. 5 losses in our last 6 games now in the Premier League. Utterly horrendous, really. Stay where you are. Thank you for joining us. For everyone at home, we'll be back for the post-match review, go through exactly what went wrong there. It might take a while, but we'll do it. Thank you, Scotty, for coming on. Thank you, Ronaldo, for coming on. Thank you, Ethan, as well. And we'll be noble in defeat and say congratulations. The better team won.
I'm not saying that.
I'll say it on Ronaldo's behalf. Thank you. Thank you for joining us at home. Hit subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'll see you in a bit.